Hi, YouTube. There we go. Hey, what's up? I always want to cut it out. I saw we have some cool people that I met on Facebook are like absolute troopers and going straight through like episode 1 to current, and that is so many hours. And I've never thought I've ever been good enough for that. So if you're ever joining us live or you see this video, hi people on YouTube, you're troopers because I don't like the sound of my own voice for that long. So beautiful souls, bless you. But the reason I bring it up is someone had commented a timestamp on some of our videos where you can click it and you skip right to the action. And I was like, that's fucking cool. Like I didn't think of that, and that's brilliant. So yeah, cool stuff. So let's get into it here. Following our last month's rewards / community challenges, we once again, you the viewers, you the people, you the dastardly dastards, succeed in all 3 things. So the Static's journey has been completed and approved. The Static are well on their way to completing the mission that they accepted in lieu of what was offered to the Seekers of Gulanti. Again, I also am going to post this out here. We're going to update the stream. I'm just adding an N to Galati, because I just said Galanti like 9,000 times one week and then like every week following. And I was like, I wrote this name and I am just the worst. So this is me owning up to it. Yes, Gulanti with an N is going to be the way to do it because I am Puerto Rican trash and things need to have consonants where they don't belong and they need to end on a vowel. And that's just, if you don't like it, mira, I don't know what to tell you. Okay. It's just the way it is. All right. Take it easy. So that's just how that's going to be. So we'll update the stream soon, etc., etc. So that is the Static's journey. The Prince also passed. So being that the Prince passed, the small, I shouldn't say small, the mild conflict far to the north. I'm going to move the stream. Woo, hopefully we don't break it. To under Mount Barzulin and Iskandar, America's favorite lord. Wait, I think most of our viewers are American. America's favorite dwarven lord has become successful in the next step and journey of his plan for the maintaining of power within Iskandar and the kind of angst and determination he has against the Duragarian allies that are now deep within the heart of the Dwarven Kingdom and now seemingly trying to unite the two peoples, but some people have different ideas about what that truly means. That has passed. Yeah. And finally, our last thing to pass is all the way down in Artnum. Can we get there? The City of Bronze, this wonderful, beautiful place right off of the coast of the Adriatic Ocean, near the Bay of the Serpent. The city, being that it has been locked for quite a long time, has now opened for the first time in recorded history following the Second Wake. What does that mean for our heroes? What does that mean for the NPCs they know and love so far? What does it mean for Artnum as a whole? Who knows? Keep watching. Maybe something cool will happen, or maybe I'm just pulling your leg. Maybe I said, ha 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 ha, viewers, 50,000 channel points you'll never get to use again. Who knows? Maybe I'm just that guy. Who knows? All right. But in that same spirit, here are 3 things that are new. So our first one is going to come up here for the Horde Moves North is our first community challenge. It is part 1 of 6. So it is our, I'm going to start putting parts for how many challenges I expect this is going to take before it has a very large impact. And you'll be able to maybe play a little bit of mental gymnastics trying to figure out what it truly means. But I went back and looked at all the things I loved about Blaseball, and I was like, I need more of that. That is a brilliant thing. If you haven't checked out Blaseball, seriously check out Blaseball. At least watch the YouTube video about it. Blaseball's tremendous. So the Horde Moves North. It is a community challenge. It is requiring 50,000 points, and the description is, the skittering masses move faster. They seek what they have yet to find. Part 1 of 6. It is short, sweet, to the point, and it is now a Liverino. There it is there. Our next one is the first meeting. If this goal is met, the Council of Dyrwood will meet to discuss the following topics. Which house is given a pass into Artnum? Changes to market prices as we know them, and mission selection priorities based on who has control of the city. So if you've been looking at the other community challenges and redemptions that you're able to do, there are a number of them that in there that people are like, I don't know what these mean yet. Now you're starting to get it. There are times to invest before the market gets hot. So with that, that will be our next community challenge. It is 10,000 points. So it is very easy to do. So, and I will tell you this, why it is 10,000 points, even though I want it to be more and more and more. It's 10,000 because technically it requires more points to give favor to who you like, but it's not so much that you can't lock it out once maybe the faction you care about is ahead. For details on the factions, they are in the Discord. Feel free to join them. I posted them under, I think, the rules tab. I probably need to move that, but oh well, eat it. So that is live. Now, there we go. And finally, our third challenge and the big boy challenge. If you follow our Discord, of course, you've seen the spoilers, the hint, the rumor and innuendo about some big challenge is coming. What does it mean? It could have huge engrossing effects on it. Shockingly, I didn't tell you a lot about it. So maybe you just have to look around on things and use your resources to determine what trickery I am attempting to pull on everyone involved. The challenge name is called the Captain's Bitterwind. So there's that. The description is, long have they traveled, their names shall be known, their power will grow, and all shall know their fates. The goal to reach the Captain's Bitterwind is 100,000 points as a community, and it is live now. So, as with all of these things, each one is set to be live for only 30 days. So starting from today, there are 30 days to complete all three, if that is something you want to do. Feel free to read the descriptions. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, cool, do it. Disco, great, that's what the Discord's for. If these things pass, they will have sweeping effects on much of the world as we know it, or depending on how you weigh things, it might be different. Oh God, Squid Quad is just like, let's do it. Let's bring Captain's Bitterwind immediately.
I found Bitterwind.
Oh, you did? Oh, there's a location named Bitterwind on the map? Since when? When did that? That's awkward. I would never have guessed that there was a place named Bitterwind. Super weird.
So, the clues are there.
I don't know what you're talking about. That seems awkward and horrible. I need to redact that. No one listen to Velethil. She's full of crazy. Don't go on our Discord and download the map and look it over with a fine-tooth comb. You'll find nothing there. You'll find nothing to determine what this could possibly mean. But yes, it is 100,000 points to complete that. So we'll see if it does. It is our largest point kind of rally to date. As always, if challenges are only partially complete, unlike some channels here on Twitch that just eat your points and flip you the bird, we don't do that. I refund all the points if it doesn't succeed, so that you guys can have stuff to spend on other things. I think I recently added another individual redemption, which is suggest a game. So on pretty much the point when I'm doing the video game streams, the only reason I'm even doing video game streams, because everyone who watches the video game streams know I am absolutely terrible at video games. They're literally only there so you can grind out Twitch points for these cool challenges for D&D. Well, if you like the game streams and you think my slapstick commentary on that stuff is cool, there's now a 25,000 point thing that says suggest a game, provided the game is on Epic Game Store, on a free available, or is under $30. You can get me to spend up to $30 on a game you want to see me play on stream, provided that it is not adult content and wouldn't break Twitch TOS issues. I will happily download it and at least give it one whole stream, minimum 3 to 4 hours of a shot on it, even if I just absolutely hate it. So if you want to get me to play like something, I don't know, something horrendous, that is your ticket in, is the cheap cost of 25,000 points. So yeah, there's that. So yeah, those are our new challenges. That's the new community goals. Feel free, join our Discord if you want more information, more details, more one-on-one question and answers with our group. We've started, again, a Valheim server. We've started all kinds of stuff for the people on YouTube. Hey, that's what we talked about at the top of the hour before we went through. The main thing to talk about is, again, I'm trying not to just run D&D and stuff. Everyone here, obviously, they're cool people. I think most of our viewers are cool people. Opening up the Discord is just a way to kind of interact with people. I hate communities that are like, yeah, just subscribe and give me a bunch of donos and fuck you. Like, I hate that. So yeah, we want to play, I want to play games with people. I think meeting people is cool. I can't go outside to meet people, so the internet is my outside now. So I want to maybe be, I can't promise I'll be your friend, but I'll definitely want to meet you. So yeah, that's all that. And with that being said, long-winded DM is long-winded. Let's go to... Okay, so last time I tried this, they passed the buck. So we're going to try to get a redemption story going on. Morgan, what did we do last time?
This is like the third week.
I know.
Come on,
You haven't done
please.
it. You haven't done it. I'm going to keep doing it. I'm like a horrible father figure that's just like, you're going to fix the car. And it's like, well, can you just fix it this time? And I go, okay, fine, I'll fix it this time. But eventually
I
you're going to fix the
probably know
car.
more about you about cars then.
That's probably fair. Tell me how to take apart a catalytic converter. And then that'll
Here's my
count.
issue though. I don't take notes. I try to listen in the moment and then I forget it completely. That's my issue.
Shit. All right, that's fine. I'll stop picking on you then. Let's do.
I'll do it next week, I swear.
All right, next week. Everyone hold her to it. Everyone hold her to it. She has to take
I'm
notes
my
this week.
docs out.
Yep.
Write out everything.
Writing it all down. Just record the stream and then watch it back.
Like I got time for that.
That's
you
true.
Just have the DM record it and then hijack it off YouTube.
It's very true. It's very true.
Don't even need. It's just on YouTube.
I know.
Oh, yeah. YouTube
Still have time.
1.5 speed. You can hear me sound like a chipmunk. You get through it in like an hour. Let's see here. Okay, so we'll pick on somebody else. So last week Orville saved you, so we can't use Orville. So let's do.
That was Val.
Vel saved. Okay.
Yeah, I was steady chilling, dude.
Oh,
Oh, that's right. We passed the buck twice. All right.
We did post Orville's notes from last week in Discord, though.
That is true. So if you want to see Orville's expertly crafted notes, you can find them on Discord.
Oh, they're so expertly crafted.
No paywall required for Orville's notes. Normally, we'd put that on. I don't. What are the sites? We don't have an OnlyFans. A Patreon. Patreon's the safer work one.
My last notes that I put were Rip Lamont, and that was it.
Truly.
Morgan lives in the moment.
Morgan is like, I feel it in my bones. I feel it in my jellies.
I will never forget Lamont. I will never take another note because I will look at it and I will remember Lamont.
What is the point of note taking if Lamont doesn't exist in this world?
Oh, he exists.
Oh, I mean, technically he exists. Let's bully Colt. Colt, what did we do last time?
All right. So,
Oh.
I'm not going to use my accent. Last week, the Seekers. We had already made our way into town. We had showered, gotten ready. People did some side stuff. I think we talked about that last week. And then we met with a Furbolg, whose name totally remember. But yes, we met with this Furbolg. And he discussed some stuff about the mission that we were planning on doing. He was very unique, a very eccentric kind of individual. And he told us that he would like us to go to the steam fields to finish up the job that the static were unable to complete. I imagine the person that got away that the static had mentioned. He mentioned some of the danger there, and I believe that that the town or city wasn't able to send their own people because of that, and because of the cloud cover or fog cover, I imagine. And on top of that, on our way, should we run into the prince, though he believed that the prince was fully capable, he would like us to help him out if he needs help, which is likely, because he doesn't actually believe in his abilities. Then from there, we were on our way to, I believe, clean up or just rest before our journey, or to grab. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was some horses or whatever. But then we met with the wonderful Inquisitor of the town, who was very cordial and very nice to us at first. And then someone might have, splashed a little water in his face or made his tea cold. But it's fine. And then he got upset, and then I got upset, or Colt got upset. And yeah. And he's pretty much just keeping his eye on us, and he's super racist. But anyway, that was, for the most part, what happened, and I think that's where we left off. I I don't remember anything else.
All right, I'll take it. I'll take that as a ending or an ending. Colt got upset, specifically Colt, not anyone else. So yeah, pretty much the recap. Yeah, the Seekers of Gulanti, see with an N. We're adding an N. I don't know if I added that before the YouTube cut or not, but if you're watching on YouTube, I'm just going to redact Gulati into Galanti because I am just space cadet brain about that kind of stuff. So they met with the one of the heralds of the king of Silverhearth, known as Sanson Lemire. He spoke to them about a pressing concern. They were brought here under the pretense of looking into King's Plummet, looking into these black towers. The entire reason that he reached out to what he assumed to be the best that the lady's house could provide, expecting the gems to show up, these so-called number one spots on the lady's accounts. Instead, being given the Seekers, the new hot commodity, fresh off of a victory in a successful endeavor in the Dwarven kingdoms to the north, and decided that, well, unfortunately, because while he would love to send them anyway, the prince had taken a bit of authority into his own hands. What they later discovered throughout this meeting was, of course, that the prince is attempting to use this as effectively a political move. The recent upheaval of the status quo and the peace across the land, these not so thinly veiled threats about a danger to humanity as a species as a whole in the land, have been kind of wafted through, and the prince is looking at this as a crowning achievement, something that will solidify his reign when he takes over the throne from his father of Silverhearth, and has thus taken himself, his people, his men, his knights, and charge them towards the plummet, so they might do what adventurers have yet to accomplish for the people of the land. Being that this is the case, the Herald, of course, did not want to let the budget that he had acquired and effectively collected to go to waste, so he has promised the Seekers the same pay that he would have promised for the plummet job, but instead just to look into the counterfeiting issue that was plaguing Wren's Fork, of which he suspects the steam fields play an important role, as it was very well reported and documented that the last group, the Static, had sought after an individual who fled to the steam fields, which is not typically an area that one should go if they were seeking safety. The suspicion now is that some hidden facility might exist within the steam fields that this counterfeiting operation is truly not disposed of as of yet. He did, of course, imply very heavily, as Colt had described, that the group should probably take the far eastern return, even though there are no roads out that far east. But they should go far east and cover across the plains of Earden, past the plummet, just to maybe stop over and make sure the prince hasn't murdered himself. Just as maybe a professional courtesy, just check in with him on their way back. Promised that he could not officially request this of them, but said that he would very much take it as a personal favor. The group then met very easily with the individual known as Inquisitor within Silverhearth, Waylon Unright, a proper posh human man with a very dapper mustache and a taste for a number of delightful things here in the world and here across the entirety of the capital of Ravan. After a quick meeting, just to more or less suss out the group and take stock of who they were, the group had a number of charming interactions, which you should just go back and watch, resulting in effectively being told that an eye is being kept on them and to make sure that they go in peace and keep the peace and respect the laws and order of Silverhearth. And that while many would see them as conquering heroes, being adventurers and chosen, weavers chosen, one and all, that they are still, to many of those in the city, just individuals, and those individuals that are currently serving at the king's leisure. With that, the group returned back to the Silver Tankard, their room on the 3rd floor, and their small kind of room on the 2nd floor, to discuss what plans they had next, the procurement of traveling arrangements, the collection of sundry goods that they might need for the long road ahead, and what they will need to prepare or otherwise explore before heading further south towards Wren's Fork and continuing their mission bestowed upon them by one of the king's heralds. with that, we bring you all right back to the tavern. We had the whole week to do downtime stuff, but man, what a beep 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 of a week this was. So yeah, everyone was busy in school, and I was just it's busy at work, and it's just, let me make a bunch of excuses about why this fictional game didn't get played while you guys couldn't watch. If anything, you get to see the nitty gritty. So if you want to see nitty gritty stuff, this is the stream for that. Episode 20, the one where we talk to NPCs all day. Yeah, pretty much simple as simple as. You all find yourself back within the area and neighborhood of the Silver Tankard, sat around a large table quietly among the third floor. A number of other tables are occupied by well-dressed and curious-looking individuals and travelers that are having their own conversations and private meetings rather than the raucous and rambunctious hustle and bustle of the first floor, the tavern and the bar and what that entails for their patrons. The floor is yours. You know the objective laid upon you. You know the goals that are expected of you. And with that, it is only up to you to choose how you want to borrow a phrase, how do you want to do this? So I don't have long hair and I'm not that pretty, but I'm going to steal that for tonight. So yeah, up to you guys. The floor is yours. You are in the Silver Tankard, and up to you guys. There you go. Do the D&D. Do the thing. There you go.
So I'm going to start after we get set down by taking out some paper and a pen and then casting Mage Hand, and I'm going to start writing a letter to Lady Golandi.
Okay. So you detail out a letter?
Yeah, the gist of it, I'm not going to include any exact details of what we were asked to do, but just include that we met with the Herald of the King, Sensen Lemire, and that we are, within the next day, going to be headed out to accomplish what we've been asked to do here.
Okay. Easy enough to do. So you start penning that with your mage hand. For everyone else, is there anything you want to be doing or get started on? Beep boop. Beep boop.
Should we arrange transportation? It's important.
Yes, if someone wants to go out and handle that, there were a few options. I'm just going to have the caretaker here arrange the sending of this letter. But you can head to the Opalwood Expanse farmlands and hope that in the winter some people are selling some horses. Or go outside to the southern steppes and see what trade's available there.
And to that as well, you do know, Bucky, that should you not want to, and you have the gold to finance it, you can have the Silver Tankard, being that you've already dropped well over 10 gold, which to many people is a well over several years worth of salary to the common man. They've already expressed interest in providing runners to you, so should you not want to leave the comfort of the Silver Tankard for any reason, many of these amenities, comforts, and purchases can be made on your behalf. If you wouldn't want to do that. Same thing with what Vela's doing. While they can provide simple mail services and running it to make sure that it is sent out and postmarked to the lady herself. Should you not want to wander through the city of Silverhearth, you do not feel obligated to. You can speak with the folks down at the first floor, specifically Clarence Edmondson, the owner, and he has already said to you at the end of last episode that should it suit your fancy, he could have arrangements made for you. It just depends on what you want to do.
Well, it seems like we would need at least one cart and some maybe 6 or 7 horses.
Oh, if
What do
we
y'all
get a wagon, a certain number of us can ride on it, along with your houseplant. So we wouldn't need as many horses if we go with that route.
I keep forgetting about the damn plant.
Really?
Gone but not forgotten.
I thought he was your buddy.
He was my buddy. Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't say that out loud. That was some voice speaking out of character.
He will be again.
But yes, I suppose that is the discussion of what do we think the best means of transportation will be for us. Goulanti. It's got an N, doesn't it?
I'm all for not having to ride an animal myself. I'm much happier to sit in a wagon.
Is anyone good with animals?
Uh,
Bucky, you're like half animal, right? Are you good with them?
out of
Damn.
character, no.
Bucky's just like, man, I'm a party animal. It's completely different. Like,
Yep.
you bust out the wine, we're talking.
I'm all animal, buddy.
Ooh, hello, Dolly. But that is true. I think maybe Colt with the soldier background. I think it gives you proficiency in land vehicles. Is that right?
I think so.
So while it doesn't allow you to ride a horse, it would allow you to operate a wagon or cart. I think that's what the soldier background provides. Specifically, my affliction. Too much Matt Hardy today. That's how we're feeling today. It's a beautiful Matt Monday. Because the truth is the truth. We're just going to cut a promo live on D&D. Just wrestling promo.
So a wagon, do we want any extra horses, or do we just want to all pile in a wagon?
So I guess here's my question, because I think we've done it certain ways in the past. Anyone can effectively ride a horse in non-dangerous situations. Like if it's just normal riding, there isn't any problem. Doesn't require animal handling, correct?
Correct. So you can always just mount a horse and ride it, provided that the horse is a trained riding horse and calm. Animal handling more or less comes into play if, God forbid, I don't know, you are adventurers and you come into any type of conflict, or there are environmental hazards or issues that you would be
in
like,
the steam fields?
no one could guess that the steam fields would have terrible, terrible consequences for riders. I personally, Chuck McClure, have starred in a number of interesting profitabilities that say that the steam fields are fine. Paid for by the steam fields. The steam fields. We're just fine. Don't worry about it.
I am proficient in land vehicles.
Bam! Look at that. I don't know how flanking works, but I know how that works.
He doesn't need to know how flanking works. He goes pew pew bang bang.
Pew pew bang bang. Bang bang. Just
What
McFoley.
do you mean I don't know how flanking works? I thought you were talking about you.
I'm talking about me. I don't know how flanking works.
Oh, I was about to say, I know how
I don't know that
flanking works,
shit.
sort of, I think.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
You
mean,
draw
don't
a line.
test me on it. I might definitely fail.
I remember
You
that
need
back
a
in the day.
reminder?
Ugh, it's awful. Back
No,
at,
I know how it works, I think.
cut back to organized play, and they're like, here's a 7-page document about being a testing to be a judge for organized play. Yeah, no, I don't want to. I don't want to know
Right,
how
well-
the feats work.
I agree. We should procure a wagon, at least 2 horses to pull it, and then any extras if anyone wants to ride along separately.
Right along.
Out of character, would my proficiency in land vehicles, I mean, if it's just a typical trained horse, it's not going to matter much for me to have that, correct?
What do you mean?
Like if I'm the one that's directing the cart, if they're trained horses, it's not really going to make much of a difference in terms of like my proficiency for land vehicles, right?
No, so the main thing is maneuverability with that. So being that you're proficient with land vehicles, you know, the loading, unloading, carrying weights, you know, everything that is entailed in the actual functionality of a land vehicle. So with that, you know, like, hey, the horses can only go this far. Hey, we got to make sure that they're taken care of in a certain way. You're proficient in all aspects of that. You wouldn't have the animal handling skill, but you are considered to be proficient, which means you still add your proficiency modifier to any check that would be relevant to a land vehicle.
Okay.
So while you may not know horses, you do know how wheels work.
Okay.
Well, do we all fit on a cart, or because that'll probably answer the question of how many extras we need.
I'd personally like to take my own horse. That way I can ride ahead and scout the area if need be. I mean, if that's okay with y'all. I mean, I don't know if all of us are going to fit in a cart. Depends on the size of the cart, of course. And I'm also willing to, if I could, fund this as makeup for the axe and the bangle, so that
Why
Val
don't
will
we
get off my
get a
ass.
cart
What?
and horses, and that doesn't remotely. Well, I can't say for certain. I don't think it will remotely equal the cost. So good try, Colt.
I mean, I'm trying to work towards it. I will pay the group back in the best way I can.
We'll get to that. We'll get to
Well,
that.
well, why don't we have
I was going to say
Mr.
2 horses and the cart.
Yeah,
A
that's what
wag-
I was gonna say. 2 horses and then a cart with 2 horses, so 4 horses total, right?
Personally, I would like to ride separately on a horse, but I might be a little ineffective at it without having to waste spells to have the hands needed. So I'll be riding on the wagon.
Scare horse.
I can ride the
Well,
other
I can have a
horse.
normal arm. It only lasts for an hour and requires concentration.
Oh, neat.
Nate.
It's just not very effective
Neat.
in most situations, so I haven't used it yet. Really, everyone thinks the fact that I lost an arm is so detrimental. I have 3 different ways to handle this. Look, a magical hand to do this. Alter self to grow one back. This wonderful little trinket to do everything else.
Da-da-da-da.
That's not done.
Foreboding. Dramatic music in the background. Lightning crashes. All right. So, what's the play, y'all?
So a cart or a wagon and 4 horses.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I guess we could send the
Enough feed for
boys.
however many days travel it is to Ren's Fork as well.
Or what you say that travel time is.
Orville's gonna pull out a shoddy map that definitely has a few questionable stains on it, probably from alcohol, and measure and plot the course.
All right. Easy enough. You look over what you have for your map you've been using. You realize I drew a dick on it. And you move the dick out of the way, and you trail down from Silverhearth down to Ren's Fork, using the dick written on the map. Oh yeah, this is a couple miles. I know exactly how long is this. Yeah, you pull your what is it, an atlas? Is it an atlas, right? You start measuring as far as you're able to go.
Compass.
A compass. Yeah, there you go. You measure it out from what you're looking at. If you go by roads, like you can always cut through the plains of Irden. It's not recommended, especially in like a regular cart. You would definitely need like a heavy set wagon to go through the plains because it's a bit more rough and tumble. But if you're just using a cart and regular horses, sticking to the main roads and effectively what you'd be looking at, you'd be inside of about a week and a half, give or take. The big slowdowns for the area are the crossing. They haven't yet chopped down much of the forestry that runs along the river that runs kind of north to south in the plains of Ravon. So the area tends to be a little bit more densely packed, and there's a bit of a slowdown there. You also know that with the roads themselves, they are rather busy. So there are typical issues just in like going full speed. You're not going to like, put the horses into the red line the whole way there for gunning it. And without any otherworldly effects, much as in the way of how you got here, it is a bit of a harrowing journey just lengthwise. So.
Gotcha. I will convey that to the group.
Don't we have supplies left over from our last trip, considering that it took us way less time than we thought it would?
Well, we'd have to establish a new contract with Miss Helsa, as she has completed her duty to deliver the lady's goods here. And I can assure you, whatever their fees are, it's not cheap for that kind of magic.
so we need supplies for the whole thing. Let's send some runners out, I guess, so we don't have to do it ourselves.
Let's why don't we wait till we get back with Elsa and see how much she's asking? She was good to us before.
I would be interested in that. Cults should definitely want to.
What? I mean, my only concern is, realistically, is that if maybe Helsa may not want to go down to the steam fields, being that they may be dangerous.
Oh, well, that's the thing. We'd likely have to pick up some other mode of transportation in Ren's Fork. She'd likely only take us as far as there.
Yeah.
The beautiful thing about owning horses is that you own horses. The terrible thing about owning horses is now you own horses. Where do you put them? And they can't put eggs back together. Terrible thing about horses. No matter how many horses or kingsmen you have, they can never put eggs back together. It's awful.
Just a little bit more power, and maybe I can just start bringing them back as skeletons when we start losing them.
Oh, Jesus. That got dark quick. I mean, oh, Weavers. Sorry. Jesus isn't here. Hey, howdy, howdy. So yeah. What's the plan, y'all?
I think we should get a more sturdy wagon than a cart, because if we can make it all the way through the steam fields with it, the plan is to return up along the unpaved roads nearing Keen's Plummet anyways. So we want something that can handle a bit of off-road.
I agree with that.
Mhm.
It's not a bad idea.
I mean, Colton Orville definitely know an all-terrain type of animal that is rideable and available to most goblinoids within the land. It would not be cheap and it would not be easy to find, but should you come across one, they will be your best friend for life. They're called
Dog.
They're called wargs. Yeah, they are dogs. Yes, they're wargs. They're things that goblins often ride. Colt probably had a warg mount when he served in his mercenary position.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do they speak Goblinoid, or do they just understand it? Like, they're pretty smart.
Oh, they speak it.
Yeah.
Wargs are dope.
Yeah, we could
They
find some orcs.
speak goblin.
That'd be
Holy
awesome.
shit.
Didn't we? I think we had a warg in another campaign.
We had a
What?
lot of different monster dogs in other
Yeah.
campaigns. Good times.
Just
I can
collect
have my
monsters.
pet. I can have my pet finally.
They got eaten by quicklings.
What's your intelligence?
Uh,
A warg
It
might be as
is?
smart as you.
14.
That's close. Yeah.
I didn't realize I was that smart.
A
I thought it was way
carriage would carry a lot more than a cart. And would probably
Carriage
be
might
more
be a
readily
bit
available.
extravagant, wouldn't you think?
Well,
Pays out quite a bit more. If I recall, they're more expensive. A bit more
Just-
common once
just-
in life.
about 100.
Well,
Can-
carriages also seem maybe not to be all terrain vehicles too much.
Would depend on its make and purpose. Would also likely be harder to find.
What up, Colt?
Can I do a history check or something to find out if wargs are typically of this region?
Oh, are you trained in nature?
No.
Okay, but you're trained in history?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll give you history. You're trained in it. You don't need to roll. You're not sure about this area specifically. As a hobgoblin individual, you most likely did not have a mercenary company that were traversing and working for coin within the realms of Ravon and the realms of mankind, since this is a predominantly human and nobler country. But you do know for a fact that most wargs do find wooded areas and forests to be their homelands. And they often seek prey that they believe to be weaker than themselves to devour. So that's the big trick. You would probably recall with your history that your Captain Lem Iridan had often whenever a replacement was needed for the riders and for your mercenary group that you were working for in your military contingent, that you would wander out and bring captives or bound people into the darkest reaches of the forest and literally leave them out as bait until warg showed up and then take them in and break them. And that was just the way things were done. Orville would probably just know that, like, wargs make great leaders. They're tremendous leaders. They eat the weak, and they defend whatever they care about. That's tremendous.
You're great.
Great boys. They like belly rubs and back scratches, and also eating the flesh of the innocent.
That's- Bucky and Orville are trying to fuse.
Oh yeah, if that
I'll move my
happens,
chair.
no, if Bucky slides too far into Orville's camera and Orville slides too far into Bucky's camera, then I'm just gonna move both the blocks together and we'll have this weird I think it lasts for 5 minutes is the fusion dance, and then we'll just have this really weird looking beard and maybe a weird comb over type dealio. I don't know. It'll be strange, but I'm for it.
You guys gotta do the fusion thing.
I thought the fusion dance could just last as long as I went.
Me and JJ are fusing.
There you go. No,
It's a cult, Jay.
it has a time limit. It's not Patara earrings, but it has a time limit. Regardless of how the fusion goes, you guys be the most mellow person. I can already sense that. So, but yeah. So what are you guys thinking? What is it that you desire?
I mean, I'm thinking I should go to the forest and go find me a warg, because that seems like a cool idea. But what it takes to find a warg is a little much, and I'm not that kind of man anymore. I suppose we could. I'm gonna look around, see if I see any guards.
No, you're on the 3rd floor of the Silver Tankard.
Oh yeah, that's
You're
right.
in an
I'm sorry.
inn. Yeah, no.
I suppose we could invite the Inquisitor out there and see what happens and be like, oh no, there's some people lost in the forest. What a shame.
So you act like he leaves the
What?
city.
Are we trying to commit murder now?
No,
No,
that's not how that works.
it's only manslaughter if it's an accident.
I'd
Yeah,
like to
we're
remind
not responsible for it.
everyone that the
You can sing him
Herald
in.
of the King's whole objective is to change the perception of this city and these people towards other races. That's why he wants us to do this.
Well, if the Inquisitor is
And
dead,
if
that's
you
one
want to
less
go
voice of dissent.
Yes, we're not going to beat that voice of dissent by literally beating it.
Oh, okay, carry on.
Orville subscribes to the Johnny Cash way of thinking, which is one piece at a time.
He's got some magical bodyguard anyway. It might not be so easy.
He had an entire platoon.
He's the boss of all of them. So
I just don't think you should even joke about such things. There are arcane ways to watch someone even if you don't need a man in the room. And if you have someone who can appear out of thin air, probably has someone who can hear you wherever you are.
All right. Yes, Mom.
This letter's done.
Takes the quill, rolls it up, seals it, folds it, puts it in a little letter, a little envelope.
So if we're looking for all-terrain, we're just going to need mounts because all the wheeled vehicles aren't going to be really that good off-road.
What are we going to do with your plant?
I could attach a little cart behind one of my horse. And if
So
it
that's got the same problem with the cart in
Yeah,
general.
well, we're
We-
eventually going to have to leave it behind anyway. It's going to get too big. Just looking for a place.
well, we could ask since
Well,
they
we'll be
are
going to
from
a
this
forest.
area. Well, they are from this area, so maybe they do have carts that are a bit more sturdy than the normal. So we could always have them ask.
That's a good idea.
And if we do get damages, myself and JJ are pretty good at repairing wagons now.
Absolutely.
I think the best option is to get a sturdy wagon and the 4 horses.
I agree.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Let's ensure 2 of them are proper riding horses, and the other 2 are at least draft horses. They could get all
Yeah.
4 riding horses, though. Just in case we lose the wagon.
It's a good idea.
All right. So with that, are you guys gonna? Oh, yes, Colt.
Would I know? I'm asking this preemptively, but would I know with my proficiency in land vehicles, if they make steel wheels and steel axles for a cart?
Yeah.
For like for durability and stuff, and if that's typical or if it's like a very expensive sort of option.
As with anything, I mean, even to compare it to real life, it's like, yeah, you can have a double cheeseburger, but you want changes to it, it costs you like 10 cents more. It's the same thing here. Is people will make carts and wagons. Obviously, Silverhearth being a capital city, there are a number of traders, merchants, and people of the like that visit this and frequent the city in a manner that would be a requirement to have a place to buy carts, buy repairs, buy upgrades, things of that sort. But with that, if you're going to go for anything that's like, we need an all-terrain, vehicle. We need the best that money can buy. They'll sell it to you, yeah, but like it is going to be expensive. With silver wheels and silver steel or any type of like iron smithing. While you probably can find it in the city, especially a capital city, there's no doubt in Colt's mind that it would be much more expensive than just a wooden wheeled wagon. If that goes about answering it.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, that works. All right. So yeah, if possible, I'll just relay that information to them. It's just easier.
I say what the DM told me.
Yep.
Well, do we want to try and have the runners here take care of that? Do you think they could find it? Or we need to go out and find someone ourselves for something that particular?
I mean, I don't know if it's completely necessary. I mean, it's just an option that we could possibly have, and I'm sure at the same time, even if they don't have it, it takes some time for them to be able to supply something like that. But it would probably help us quite a bit over rough terrain, and in terms of long distance, as well as just general durability if we get in a scuffle. It's a really good option if we plan on keeping this cart for a while.
Well, even not for a while, just actually having a means of transportation through the steam fields that will survive it.
Yeah.
So I think I completely agree. It's absolutely worth the extra coin if we can procure one of those.
Well, we could ask Mr. Edmonton if he knows of anybody that could make something like that or has those things for sale.
Sorry for asking so many questions.
Ask all the questions. I love it.
Well, actually, I'll ask this one to the group. Do we know anything about Ren's Fork and whether or not they're as indifferent about non-humans there as Silverhearth proper?
Could I do?
Yeah, I'll
like,
do a history
check or something.
I'm from a little further south of here, so I could possibly a
So
lot further south.
Vel can do history. I'll allow insight from anyone else, since Vel is technically a southerner.
I'll take a crack at it if nobody else. will.
14.
Okay, 14. Yeah. And everyone else taking a crack at insight?
That's not worth it for me.
I was gonna say Bucky's pretty far south too. He's from
Yeah. So if you want to roll history as well, Bucky. Well, we'll do the good old average. Why not? We said 14, Vel? What'd you get, Bucky?
Yeah, that's a big old outsight for me.
6.
6? Okay. We're we're just gonna say let's tank the average. So between the two of you, we get to an average of 10. The main idea here, or objective, is trying to think back on it historically. Vel, you have effectively from a 14 in history. You know, of course, that very much divine right and the concept, or rather ideals, present in the land of Ravon have always been heralded as respecting nobility, respecting due process, and of course, from your heritage and lineage, the people of Ravon have been those that have been possessed of a great kind of burden that they believe that has been laid and levied against them by the realm weavers, that the land surrounding their capital city and that the promised land and the country itself is that of humanity. It is that of
Divine right.
Divine right, very much so. And you don't seem to have any recollection of a negative implication that should exist within the city. It's a bit shocking, but you are very quick to be kind of corrected as Bucky kind of thinks about it as well. And he's like, yeah, it's because you're probably some noble or some shit. Because, like, they hate my people. They want to chop down my elder oak. They hate the people that live in my city. Like, I don't know what kind of perfume you're smelling, but so it kind of brings you guys down to a 10 as a team working together. The idea that very much historically for you, Vel, you've always been treated very well, and your family's been treated well because of their position in your city. Whereas Bucky is more of, I'm from the streets, and my history with these people is like, I've never met them, and I've never been to the city, and I don't know them, but I know history, and I know that they've tried to chop down the elder oak at least twice.
I'm very familiar with that.
Yeah.
I read about it.
Read about it in a book. For insight, who's my insight crew? JJ? And who else? Okay. And
me.
Orville, you rolled on it? Okay, Orville, what'd you get?
Uno.
Oh, well, you still add your modifiers.
Okay, that's going to be a 5.
A 5, okay. Morgan, what do we get?
18.
18, got it. JJ, what do we get?
16.
16, cool. That's it for the insight train. The insight train, working together, thinking it over, conferring with each other, sharing information and notes. You guys come to a group average of about 14, give or take. You think it over. You consider what you know about Silverhearth. You know that there are people here who believe that demi-humans and other monstrous races are to be celebrated and held with traditions. You do note that there are a number of people that, while existing within the city and believing that demi-humans, as so described by the humans of Silverhearth, have a right and a role to play in Ravon as a country. There is the kind of overhanging distrust of the giant kin, as that was the kind of the natives to Ravon were the giants in the area. Thinking logically about it and kind of thinking and kind of talking to each other about it and kind of reaching a number of insightful breakthroughs, you consider the actual physical location of Wren's Fork, and being that it is so far south, it probably has seen its fair share of not only immigrants and people heading into Ravon for the promise of coin and trade and leaving their homelands, but it also acts a little bit as the gateway from the south up to the north and towards much of it. Bucky himself would likely have passed through Wren's Fork, even for just a few moments, on his way further north to Deerwood. Many of you kind of come to the assumption, rather insightful conclusion, that Wren's Fork, if any of the cities among the Ravon owned and Silverhearth ruled cities of the area, was going to be more accepting of monstrous races or non-humanoid individuals, it's probably going to be Wren's Fork. So that's what you get.
All right.
And that
Well,
is how we do with everyone wanting to roll.
Well, it may be more acceptable then to wait to get the cart in Wren's Fork. If we could better find someone that's more accepting rather than, test our luck here and get over.
Wren's Fork is a
It's a week
much
and a half
smaller
away.
town compared to this massive city that would definitely have the resources and likely has the exact type of cart we're looking for. We just need to find someone who's willing to part with it and offer the right price.
Yeah, that's the problem, the right price. I mean, I imagine Ren's Fork.
If we're going to write it off, we'll
Yeah.
get the money back.
All
Mhm.
right.
This paper right here that I'm taking out, I'm just going to write receipt of purchase immediately, and we'll have wherever the purchasers take it from actually file that, so we can get everything properly taken care of.
All right.
I
We will
mean,
be
and if,
returning that to the Herald.
and
Yes,
if
sure.
and if upfront price is the problem, I mean, I'll help fund it too. It's already by cart or however long.
Maybe I misspoke,
It's
but
gonna
it's not.
be
Oh,
a week
sorry.
and a half.
Yeah, I mean, that my only concern is the refusal of business or something like that. I mean, again, this is my first experience with Ravon and Silver Earth, so
Well, there's a
Sorry.
simple way to deal with that. You don't do anything or behave remotely like what you did around the Inquisitor. You let people say whatever they're going to say, and you react with a smile, and just beat them. And then you offer them more money than they're asking.
Beat
and
them?
Their greed. You beat them at their own game. You beat them at the.
oh, okay.
Now you get in
I
a
tried to
sack.
explain that earlier.
The other
Yeah.
the other thing that the insightful group, those trained in insight, will also say is that most likely, and there's kind of probably this small part of it as for the reason why you were offered that the silver tankard would take care of you because you are effectively just slugging and slinging gold all over the place, is because you are a group comprised of no humanoid members outside of Morgan, who has a half elven nature, and the other half seems human, but who knows? Maybe she's part Knoll or something. We don't know. She just is really good with a shaving razor. We have no idea. But the idea there is that if you do your bookings through a runner who would work for the Silver Tankard, you can be rest assured that there's no untoward biases in that respect. So those of you trained in insight would probably pick up on the subtlety of that. As far as for a factor for Colt's concerns, is that it is being offered because it could happen. The marketplace could be rather rude and crass to some people, especially goblins or those who have giant's blood. But being that is the case, that is another option on the table, provided that you choose to afford it.
Well, why don't we see what the runners from the tankard can find us?
Yeah, let's. I'm in full agreement. I think that's a good idea.
We'll put
That
forth our
sounds good to me.
requests. We'll hand them these requests of receipt of purchase so that we can get official filings of how much was spent, and we'll go from there.
All right. Sounds good.
So then I will head down with the letter, ask that be taken to the Lightning Telegraph to be sent to Lady Gulanti in Deerwood.
Okay.
And then request that a sturdy wagon be procured, one that can handle off-road, perhaps reinforced if it can be found, and 4 riding horses.
All right. So you put your request together, you write it down, you have conversation with, boom, Clarence Edmondson. Oh, can I squeeze him in there? He's a little bit pudgier than me, so he doesn't fit in boxes as well. There we go. Clarence, actually, I wonder if I can, hold on. Let's see this. Transform. Flip. Look at that. Now he's looking at you guys. I'm so proud of myself. So Clarence Edmondson kind of looks it over, takes your letter, nods easily enough. He says, it'll cost you at least a copper to send a letter out, but that'll be all right. If you'd like, Mr. Buck has already handsomely provided a number of things, so I know that your group is quite well worth whatever it is you might need. Much of it can be handled upon receipt. Let me have this right here. You said 4 riding horses and a wagon, or do you need a full cart?
Isn't a wagon more than a cart?
A wagon is more than a cart. So he's asking more, do you need a big wagon, or do you need like a fully reinforced wagon, or do you need a reinforced cart? Sorry, it's me clarifying.
The wagon.
Wagon?
Wagon?
Okay,
Yeah,
everybody?
Wagon, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
All right. Let's see here. Yeah. So he looks it over and he goes, the horses, riding horses are easy enough to come by here in Silverhearth. I can have somebody arrange that. How soon would you need them?
If all of this could be arranged by tomorrow morning, it would be best. If it takes a little longer, that's not the end of the world, but I'd like to leave within 2 days if it needs more time.
And you'll, of course, need supplies for the road. Should I have my men reach out for food and such for you and your new horses?
Yes, 2 weeks worth.
2 weeks worth of provisions. Very good. So let's think here. I can get this started for you. The letter would be no problem. There's already so much on your tab that can cover that, but the rest of these items are rather an investment. 4 horses, from what I know, will run you upwards in the neighborhood of about 200 gold pieces to own them outright. You can borrow them, provided you know the destination you're headed to, so long as you're not taking them out of the lands of the king. It typically would reduce your costs quite significantly. You'd be looking closer to about 100 gold pieces. For a wagon, it's going to be dependent on what they have available, but I have seen a number of these new brassed and reinforced wagons fitted with iron fittings go in the neighborhood of about 50 to 75 gold, give or take. So depending on how you want to handle that, I would be looking for, if at all possible, about half up front, just to ensure legitimacy. We'll cover the other half and then bill you at the end of your stay here with the Silver Tankard.
Yes, certainly, that's no problem. And I will hand him...
No, I got it, Vel. It's.
Oh,
on.
you came down with me. Hi there. Oh, sure.
Yeah.
I had enough pocket change on me. I've got
Yeah.
platinum burning a hole in there.
Oh,
Yeah, I've got it.
all right.
So half of it was 75 gold for the cart and about
I was just going to round up to 300 and give him 150.
yeah, so 150. So I'll hand him 150 gold.
Okay. So renting the horses, not owning?
Oh no, owning the horses. That's what I wanted to do.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
so,
this is buying. It's
yeah, buying straight up would be 200 golden horses, and then the wagon itself would be 75. The
we're rounding up to 300.
Yeah, so rounding up to 300 to cover all of your provisions would probably be the smart thing to do. You're likely to get changed, so yeah, if you do half up, then yeah, 150 gold right now would be what you do marking off. Sorry about that.
150 gold.
All right. So you count out the coin. He weighs it, checks it, make sure it's valid and legal tender. He nods to it. He writes down a list of what you're requesting. He looks it over and then looks back to you and goes, might there be anything else that perhaps we could look for you? Anything in particular you're after, or certain things that you might otherwise need on your journey?
No, I just need receipt of sale for the horses and the wagon. Just a document. I actually have one written up here, just confirming the prices spent on them.
A wise man never signs anything that someone else has prepared for him. I'll create a bill of sale from the Silver Tankard for your expenses, and I'll stamp it myself with my own seal. That way, I can make sure that everything is exactly as expenses have gone for us.
Much appreciated.
You're quite welcome.
Quick question. Do you know if the horses come with saddles, saddlebags, spurs, or not spurs? What are they called?
Tackle?
Something ups. Stirrups.
Stirrups,
Whatnot.
He thinks it over and he goes, well, not particularly, but with what you have here, I'm sure we could find an outfit. Would all 4 of them need saddles and bit and tackle?
If the cart would require 2 horses, or can utilize 2 horses and be capable of carrying the majority of our group, then no. I don't know how everyone feels about riding or just staying in the
I
cart.
think we only need 2.
Yeah, so 2 saddles, stirrups, saddlebags. If you got it, I'd be willing to pay extra for them.
All right. He writes it down at the bottom of the list he's making. He looks over the pair of you and goes, anything else while we have them out in the market this afternoon?
You know what?
I don't
I
need-
could use about 30 gold in high quality incense.
Incense? Like a perfume?
Yes, for burning in a brazier.
Yeah, but you can burn it whatever you'd like. Do you want it to be frankincense or some type of... Is there
Or
a
whatever
preference?
the lightest packing can be done.
Oh, okay.
30 gold worth.
I will write down 30 gold worth of incense. You're probably going to get a couple bricks of this. I'm not quite sure what you'll use it for, but I'll have my I'll have
That's
my man
fine,
looking
Brandon.
for it.
I'll hand him 3 platinum for that.
Okay. He takes it and like immediately is just like, and like sets the platinum just like in a coin box immediately. Like there's a stack of 150 gold and it's still like, oh god, they're paying in platinum now. Oh, okay. The depths of their pockets are seemingly boundless at this point. Not shrewd, but like the tavern owner is kind of like, okay, yeah, they paid in 8 gold coins for their rooms that cost like a couple silver, and now they're dropping like 150 gold
I already
for
tipped him in
errands.
2 as well.
Yeah, he's
At
just
the
like,
end of last one, I gave
like-
him 2 just for information.
yeah. At this point, Clarence Edmondson has been like, you know, maybe there's something against this whole demi-human thing. I'm just saying they pay very handsomely for things.
Honey, we're adding an attachment to the inn, okay? We're just adding one.
Maurice, darling, forget about it. Get your things. We're moving.
Call it the Seeker's Wing.
Seeker's Wing. Here's the
We have
sequel.
a dedicated building.
Yeah, the Seekers Memorial Library. It's the Lamont Foundation. We named it in his honor. So yeah, you guys, easy to do. Is there anything else anyone might need, even if you're not there right now? If your character would need it or would have said it, just let me know now and I'll add to the list.
Can I get a
We wanna-
back scratcher?
A
Back
per-
scratcher!
like a person to scratch your back, or like a device to scratch your back?
A device.
Oh yeah, sure.
I got these short little arms and all this back.
I feel like that'd be like a copper piece. I'm gonna just. It's on the house. So he'll have just a piece of wood with like a dull nail at the end. He goes, here you go. You can just have that. Fell off a barrel the other day. You can just. I was using it to get under my foot. Oh God! I gave that to him through the internet. You can all see that. There you go. I spoke it. Now it's real. So
Hey,
yeah,
I was the first one to do that with a glass of wine.
here's wine. Ooh. Oh goodness. All right. So yeah, if there's
Oh
nothing
no,
else,
this is too much.
God,
That's gonna break terms of
I
service.
wish,
He's just getting in there.
Yeah, I wish I would have captured that.
we gotta get the
Oh, it'll be on YouTube.
Clip
don't
it.
worry.
yeah, we'll clip it, put it on YouTube. Live in infamy. So yeah, he takes your prepayment for that. He writes up a note. He calls to one of the workers in the Silver Tankard. He hands the note, explains exactly when it's needed, and that his employee is able to use the credit of the Silver Tankard to fulfill these, as well as prepayment for these items. Explaining exactly that he expects the best quality, make sure the horses are not sickly, make sure the wagon is in good condition, has been reinforced properly, and tells him a number of things to look out for, and sends him on his way. He tells you all that it'll be handled and it'll be ready for you in the morning, on his word.
Thank you very much.
Of course. And thank you as well for your continued business. Your little group, and being that it's arrived so soon, has already been a bit of a headache at first, I'll be honest with you, but really, well, thank you for all that you've done so far within this establishment.
Thank you. Thank you for, looking at us, not looking at us indifferently. Seems to be going around, and we do appreciate you being honest with us.
Of course. There needs to be more honesty in the world, I feel. I know you've probably met a number of unsavory individuals within Silverhearth, but no, that's not everyone. I myself was born with nothing, born to nothing, from nothing, and managed to build this up for myself. I'm very proud of it, to say the least, but I've never had a family history of war or anything detailing as far back as the first, when this was first founded. Some of the royals and nobles still have their nose in the air about a number of ridiculous notions, but I believe the the general mindset of the city will persevere. We get all kinds of travelers that come and serve here, no problem at all. And I've never had an issue with any of you DHs, to say the least.
Well, thank you again. No, walk off, I guess.
Kind of just gives you the old saloon nod. What troubles you, friend? Bing. So long as your coin's good, you're good to me. Wink.
Is he shining a glass?
In his picture, he's shining a glass.
Oh yeah. Yes.
He's never not shining a glass.
That's anytime you're looking for barkeep artwork. If they're not polishing something, they're not a good enough innkeeper. DMs out there, make sure you have more It's going the way of the dinosaur. No one wants to have their innkeeper do the polishing, but it's the way the world works. It's got to be that way. You go read some old first edition books, and it's like the innkeeper, and it's just some big burly guy cleaning one glass with a wobbly eye. Ain't not enough Borises in the world. Let me tell you what. All right. So with that, send you on your way. Is there anything you guys want to do or accomplish before taking a long rest here at the Tankard and preparing for your journey ahead?
JJ just wants to be a little bit more on alert, I suppose.
Okay. You keep an eye out, ear open, looking left and right.
Yep.
Someone raises their voice suddenly, and go back to what you're doing.
JJ, if you see any snakes, let me know.
Does Helsa not come here in this evening?
She will. I'm just asking if there's anything you want to do before moving on. That's called, do you want to progress the story? Please select yes or no. If you'd like to progress the story.
You said before a long rest, and I'm like, hey, if she doesn't show up, that might mean something happened.
She shows up, and she's been horribly, horribly, horribly excommunicated from the church. The Orc Church. Church of Raiding and Pillaging.
Wog.
All right. So yeah, everyone good?
Mm-hmm.
Beep boop. All right. So mid-afternoon falls into evening. The kind of like notice, or rather information, comes back after several hours. Being that your rooms have been generously prepaid for, your drink bill is effectively more than you guys would be able to stomach. Even Orville and Bucky trying their hardest on the kind of wine and swill that is served at the Silver Tankard. It's cheap. It's the most beautiful thing about it is it's affordable. Ooh, it is pouring. If I lose power, we will pick up the stream, hopefully. So yeah.
It started raining here a little while ago.
Yeah, pouring in Florida. Snowing other places. No power in Texas. So hope everyone's staying safe. With that, Clarence Edmondson informs you all that his employee managed to procure the items at no problem. He said he hands you guys a final bill and says you can settle up in the morning. The bill details a total cost of 288 gold pieces, of which he's already itemized out exactly what you bought, what the costs were for each one, and that your current credit on the books details in 150 gold plus 30 platinum. The incense is actually listed in this itemized deduction and kind of put all the way through there. It also lists out the prepayment of 8 gold for room, board, and drinks for the evening, and says that there is a current outstanding, not profit, but like the Silver Tankard owes you all still a sum of 3 gold, but it's floating there for miscellaneous purchases. So in case you need drinks or wine or breakfast in the morning, etc., that 3 gold is still like a flex, which is kind of listed as a flex account. If you ever stayed at like a Hilton, I stare at people who can afford Hiltons. Be like, like how they do at the DoubleTree. Anyway, so yeah, there's that. Later into the evening, as you all are deep into your cups, enjoying dinner, a freshly prepared skewer of various reptilian meats and a small display of fresh fruits and vegetables that is offered for the meal of the night at the Tankard. You do hear very heavy footsteps moving up and down the stairwell before the green-faced smile of Helsa pulls back and free from her cloak and kind of looks to you all and kind of like scans the room before coming into view of each of you. Let's see here if it loads. Boop, boop. Hey, and she's immediately off screen. Whoop. There we go. And we're going to crop that top, We're gonna crop that top. It's my cropping song. Crop that top. There we go. Cool. Elsa pulls her jacket off, free from her, pulling back a covering for her hair, slings it over her shoulder, and kind of hails and moves to your table before pointing at an empty chair, sliding it back, and kind of heavily plopping down. She goes, "Well, how's Silver Hearth been treating the rest of you?"
Well enough.
Good.
As good as can be in a human settlement.
Yeah, for sure.
So, your lady's goods have been taken care of. They've been perfectly delivered and accounted for, every piece. The Talons are sleeping with the horses. It was much cheaper to board a number of the kobolds in the cages for animals, but it's everything to save a bit of coin. So, with that, your lady's payment and procurement for her goods is currently loaded onto my wagons. Might there be anything else that is required? I have a standing order to meet with an individual halfway back at Fort Dusk to ensure your lady's trades are finalized for these goods. Mightn't there be anything else that you all have found to your liking in the city?
Helsa, I just need my my plant back.
Your plant?
Yeah, you put it in your carts for me.
Oh,
Back. Just need it.
Well, how do you one better, Buck? And she reaches into her jacket and fiddles around one of the pockets and sets 5 gold coins in front of you in a stack. She goes, "It sold for quite the right price. I had thought originally it was a member of the cargo, and after checking the manifest, I apologize. I had thought it was to be sold in the same shop. They offered quite a handsome sum for it, and I feel it's only right, being it was your plant, that you receive the funds from that."
Oh, Helsa, why'd you sell it?
Listen, Bucky.
I'm a merchant.
If
It's
anything,
not yours to sell.
Everything in my
but-
wagon is mine.
Listen, Bucky. Lamont would have wanted it this way. He was a businessman, and he sold for a good price. I think he would be happy about this.
Where did you sell him?
She goes, she like thinks it over and she goes, the refiners, oh goodness, what was his name? Theodore, I believe. Theodore Crasson. He runs a small jewel polish and exotic goods store over on, oh, what's it? Let me see here. Please. Oh, over in Peddler's Plaza.
Bucky swipes the gold off and says, "You're lucky I don't punish you for this."
Oh. Well, if I'm to be punished, might I suggest the hobgoblin do it? I hear their punishments are very much worth entreating.
Oh, Captain Toughsteak puts up good punishment.
Oh, does
What?
he?
Captain Tufts?
It's in my notes, bro.
I have to use the restroom.
Colt rushes to the nearby watering can, and Helsa looks around at the group and goes, "He's just as bashful as a babe, and I can't help myself."
No, it's quite entertaining. I really enjoyed as well.
So then, I suppose this will be the end of our occurrences with one another. You have your things to do, I have mine. If there's anything I can do, the Red Talons are, of course, available for any services you might have of us. You need only send word to me or look us up should you ever find yourself back west.
Are you generally stationed out of Deerwood?
Oh, no, not Deerwood particularly. For a time, I had called Hasfram Village a place to settle in, but the road has been more kind to me than, well, much of anything else. If you still go there, my brother still owns the old depot that I had used for a time. He'll know best how to get in contact with me should you ever require it.
It's good to know. Your skills and your team are exceptional, and I like to keep that in mind.
I do thank you. If you come across any bardic sorts, please make sure that you inform them of that. I'm always looking for good story and review for our little business.
Yeah, just make sure that you don't leave anything on her cart she might sell.
Yes, that is a good point. I should add that to my advertising.
Bucky, you should take this as an opportunity to get the weight off your shoulders. You can only carry a tree so far.
We'll see.
Well then, if that's all, then I do thank you, Bucky. Again, 1,000 pardons for your plant. But again, the men knew a quality plant when they saw it, and I've never seen a sproutling go for 5 gold before. So, truly, that is quite a good deal, and you're welcome for being able to fetch you that price.
It was worth way more than that, but you wouldn't have known that.
I wouldn't have. I'm not a gardener. Well then,
Shouldn't have sold it.
shouldn't have left it on my stuff.
Well, I did ask you to hold on to it for me, and you said you would, so I would assume that you wouldn't sell it, but...
I feel like I said that before. Well, you have my apologies. What's done is done, and you're richer for it. And I have learned a valuable lesson. To
It's
not
not
lie
done.
to people. Very good then. For the rest of you, do tell your captain I thanked him quite a bit for his companionship on the road. Should our paths ever cross again, I will welcome you all as friends.
It's not that kind of companionship, all right? I know what you fuckers are thinking. It's not that kind of companionship.
Colt, stop yelling from the lavatory.
Just shitting in the water closet like, it's not that, that's not the same. So with that, Helsa looks over, kind of like takes a finger and like tilts the cup that was sitting in front of Colt and like swills what was left of his like alcohol and downs it and then sets it down because good. At least he's drinking good finery. For the rest of you, thank you. And may the road be kind to you.
And thank you.
Very good. And she stands and rises, nods to you. Yes, Colt.
Can I catch her before she leaves?
Oh man. Yeah. Go ahead and
But
yeah,
away from the table.
No, roll
Oh.
stealth. I'm watching for this.
Yeah.
Away from the table.
As
We'll
as
do this.
Helsa stands and exits the table, Orville's gonna lean over to JJ and whisper in her ear, "Reckon that's as close as she gets to kissing him."
Who knows? I'll keep my ears perked. And JJ's gonna hone in.
the old jackalope ears start tilting like a radio tower. And she's like, perception is at the forefront. Yeah, Colt, you try to slink out of the icebox like the Grinch. Go ahead and roll stealth. You have disadvantage because you're in plate mail, by the way.
Yep. Ew, why is this website so laggy right now?
I don't know why you using the website. You own dice.
Yeah, you're right. True.
Am I wrong? I'm not sitting here policing people's dice rolls.
Ooh, okay. So 16.
16. Yeah, you sneak out a little bit for the group that is legitimately just like waiting to watch you. I mean, who wants to roll perception? JJ said she was prepping it, so we'll say JJ can roll perception at advantage because literally everyone is waiting for this moment. Somehow there's a bus boy on the side of the room just like, ooh. All right, JJ, what do we got?
20.
20. Colt, you slink out, you feel stealthy. You literally wait for another person to walk by, and you try to do the Scooby-Doo thing where you kind of like walk alongside the other person. Like, this is perfect. There's a squeaking and kind of a rusty hinge in your new plate mail. And you're like, oh, and you start moving, you stop moving your elbows, so you make less squeaking noises, you check back and you look to the table, and your eyes meet with everybody that you know and love. Sitting at the table, watching you, some waving. Probably Orville waving. I think Orville's the waving type. He's like, hey, buddy, go get her. But you do catch her at the stairs at the far end of the room. And she kind of turns and looks at you and goes, Captain?
Elsa, just wanted to say thank you for everything on the road.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe we can grab a drink sometime or something, unless you don't want to, in which case I totally understand. And I'm going to stop talking right now.
Good. You're a lot more imposing when you're not talking. When you talk, you tend to be a bit of a coward. Women don't like that. But I'll take you up on that, Captain Honeycutt. Should we come across each other, first round's on you. And of course, I'll expect you to be treating.
All right. Sounds good. And I'll try to grab her hand, to kiss her hand.
Okay. Yeah, you like grab, like she leans in for a second, and then you grab her hand, and she's like, "Oh, okay," and she lets you kiss her hand, and she's like,
"Oh, did I miss something? I'm real bad at this."
proper gentleman you are.
I mean,
good.
we can start over.
No.
Was
it's
was there something else?
No, slow is fine. I get that.
No,
it's
it's
a new experience.
JJ casts a message to Colt. Kiss the woman, you dumbass.
Fuck, just said that.
Cast mage hand just to clap slowly.
Yeah. What's the sound of one mage hand clapping?
I can't do it with my one hand. I need a mage hand.
Oh, so it's a mage hand.
I'll throw mine
Bonus
up.
action, I clap. Yeah. Morgan, by Morgan and Vel's power combined, they form one clapping mage hands. So yeah, easy to do. You hear that in your head, and as you turn and kind of like look around, you're like, wait, what was that? You see Halsa kind of like chuckle to herself, and she goes, next time, Captain. And she turns.
There
and
ain't no
heads
town
downstairs.
like the present, lady. And
Oh.
I'm gonna try to pull her in.
Give me what would that do? Give me a persuasion check. That's
Grapple.
yeah, or grapple.
Grapple.
Yeah, you can roll. You can roll two ways here. You can roll persuasion, and we're gonna hit her with the cheesy like the cheesy romance lines, or you can roll athletics, and you do the old like you're not going anywhere, kid. And you like yank her back. Your choice.
She's an orc. We're going athletics.
Oh, okay.
She's not gonna go for any of the cheesy romance stuff.
I love the they're treating us bad here, but I have assumptions about orcs. Colt is a complex individual. Yeah, go ahead and roll athletics.
17.
17. She kind of turns, and before she's fully able to turn, you kind of like you give her the old Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse, and you slap the arm on her shoulder. She kind of turns back, and you hit her with the hay, and you pull her in by the shoulder and kind of like coil her in, and a little bit forcefully, but you do kiss her. You for the first time, you again have a woman in your arms, and for a moment those of them at the table can see this kind of like not hesitation, but this like gripping as if she's like gonna like clock you, and then thinks better of it and kind of hugs you and embraces you back, and you share in a small tender moment. As you guys part from your first kiss, she kind of looks you over and she goes, "Oh no, perhaps you're not a lost cause after all, Captain. There's a bit of a fighter spirit in you."
Thank you.
Try not to get yourself killed, huh?
I never try, but seem to come close every time.
Seems you do. Well,
how do I reach you?
Oh.
What's the best way to reach you next time I'm around?
Oh, when you're
Or
around,
something.
when a man comes calling, that's what I'm to wait. I like this game. I like this bit of back and forth, but I say that I see much of potential in you, and with that, perhaps, if you're a good boy, and your journey ends in some weeks, as I assume it to be, I'll see you in town. Maybe look me up. Maybe I want to spend my winter in Deerwood after all.
All right.
All right.
Sounds good.
Keep your nose clean, Captain.
Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
I will. You
She
stay safe out there.
Yeah. Oh, I will. And she'll kind of like pull back from you, and like kind of like give you a soft smile and a nod, and kind of like seem to think about it for a second. You see her hand as she turns, jacket in one hand, open hand in the other. Her free hand kind of like touches what would be like the upper part of her chin, her lips, and then she heads down stairs and exits.
I'm going to take a moment. Breathe, exhale heavily.
Full anime moment.
And then walk back to the table.
A confident stride. Colt is 4 to 5 inches taller as he stands up straight.
What's up, losers?
Colt, I'm so proud of you. You grew a pair.
Thanks for listening, Captain.
Wait, that was you? I thought that was God or one of the weavers speaking to me.
Close enough.
Shit, howdy, that's good enough.
Shit, howdy, she says.
Orville's gonna go for a high five as Colt comes back.
All right. Wait. Yeah, I don't know about you telling my deepest secret, so I am gonna high five ignorantly.
I don't.
Terrified curses that one.
Wait, do I know that I hate you?
Wait, do I? God, are you still there? Do I hate Orville yet? I'm prepping to hate Orville. I feel it in my bones, my jellies. I can feel it. All right. So with that, time does pass. For everyone here, you all find yourselves among the various rooms in the tavern, splitting up between the suite and the small kind of stopover. There's more than enough room for the 6 of you to be comfortable between the 2 rooms, depending on staggering sleep schedules and the like. During the onset of your rest, JJ, you do note a small kind of chain-mailed purse sat underneath the pillow of one of the beds. You note that it was one that you, when you were freshening up earlier, had like strands of your fur that were still kind of clinging to it because it hadn't been turned yet by the waitstaff. But you find this this kind of chainmail purse full of silver and copper coins, and a note that says "Fair is fair, and here's your half."
Okie dokie, she'll count it
Right.
at some point, but
Sure. Just for sake of ease, you know it to be a total of 25 silver and 60 copper coins. It's really like a big bundle of coins in this like kind of like chainmail weaved, this cheap looking chainmail.
Cool.
It's like a Ren Fair bag. Like it looked cool, but no one spent a lot of time on this. Come on, you made this out of sody lids. So with that, we're at 8:51. Let's go ahead and take a, what, we want to do 10 minutes, 5 minutes? 10 minutes. We'll do 10 minutes. We'll be back at 9 o'clock. Let's do 9 minutes. There we go. We're going to take a quick break, little bio break, break up the action a little bit so that everyone has time to stretch their legs, get something to eat, something to drink, make sure you guys hydrate, stay safe out there, etc., etc., etc. Other things I can say to you. We'll be back at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Don't go nowhere, and we'll see you soon. Bye. Hey, there we go. We got it in 1. Wow. It's like a sudden shock. It's like, hey, we took a break and now we're back, and it never feels like it's long enough. Get in there, do some squats, do some stretches. Ooh, good to go. So yeah, if you're joining us back, welcome back to episode 20. Wow, 20. We're almost. Oh my god, that's a lot of episodes. Yeah, great. Before we left for the break, we had the group planning out their journey, deciding on how they were going to go about getting supplies, utilizing the services of the Silver Tankard to do so, meeting with Helsa regarding the Lady Gulanti's deposit of goods into the city of Silverhearth and the the return of her pay being accounted for. In her dealings with the merchant, Helsa, having given her word to Bucky, but deciding money was money, sold the Lamont plant in exchange for a wealthy sum, she claims, of 5 gold. Bucky seeming none too pleased by the transaction of a sproutling and a single jar of dirt being sold for such an amount. But after a quick and brief meeting, an unassuming one at that, Colt Honeycutt, Captain Colt Honeycutt, stuck. I don't know how to. He dug deep within his soul, and he said, "This right here, this is the one. By God, Weaver in heaven. This woman shall be mine." And it was.
Warden's going to be so mad.
Yeah, well, you're cheating on the warden. It's a big mess.
I'm in a Twilight love triangle.
I don't know if it's a love triangle. It's more like a punch triangle at this point. It's a bunch of orcish women that you're just like going to courting. Colt's got that green fever. Anyone on Twitter knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Yourself as the leader of the horde and claim all the women.
Claim all the women's.
Correct. That's what I'll do.
Like Pokemon cards. He's like, oh, I hope this one's rare. So awful, absolutely awful. Women are not objects. Anyone watching? Women are not objects. Colt Honeycutt is a monster person.
I did not want to collect
You've
them all.
said it.
What?
Not you.
Oh, I think he agreed to it though. So anyway, so yeah. After that small moment of passion, this brief respite before the journey ahead, we went to break as JJ discovered a sum of silver and copper coins from an interaction she had earlier in the day at the tavern, where she managed to overturn a bit of an unfair contest, so to seem. With that, you all have completed a long rest. The time at the Silver Tankard, intermittently between rests, recuperation, and otherwise planning ahead, is fairly quiet. There are not a number of things that truly trouble or assault much. During your rest and recuperation, however, I need Velithil to please roll me a charisma saving throw.
Is it against charm?
No. Shockingly not.
17.
17. Okay. You all awaken out of your meditative states, out of your various modes of sleep over the early and mid mornings, and you find yourselves awoken and made available by the wait staff of the Silver Tankard. The owner, Clarence, has been true to his word, provided a notice that 4 horses and a reinforced iron wagon has been set out front, completely equipped with all the sundry goods you would need. 2 weeks worth of rations for 4 horses and 6 travelers, all present and accounted for. And this morning is a service of fresh grilled fish, offered in a breakfast with a small kind of catering of roasted vegetables to be served up with a rather hearty way to start the day. But is offered to each of you freely and is enough to fill the stomach. It doesn't quite measure up to the quality of the estate meals that you've been having, but at the very least, this breakfast is enough to set you on the day and provide sustenance for the journey ahead. So on that, after making yourselves ready for the day, cleaning up, packing your things, preparing for the road ahead, Mr. Edmondson looks to Vel and Colt and goes, all right then, so my word was kept. You'll find those horses in good order, your wagon and goods as promised, the incense packed away among your wagon, free for you to take or do with as you please. I'm not quite sure what you intend to do with such flowery things, but you have them. Now there's just the issue of collecting and making sure that everything is paid up in full.
All right. Were we able to get those saddles as well?
Mm-hmm.
Saddlebags and whatnot. All right.
You'll find
And,
your 2 horses that are not currently adorned with your cart, all taken care of. And he looks over his record, and he looks over, as you guys still have it, like the itemized receipt that he had provided to you. The sum total comes out to, let me see here. I think I had it. I think I said it before, but let me double check.
You said 288 before?
Yeah, 288 is what I have here. For everything all
so
encompassing.
133. Or is that 288 after everything, or
No, 288 total. So
okay,
so 288 was our final cost. So 288 minus the old 150 that you threw down. I'm sorry.
133.
Hold on. You threw down 180 because of the platinum. So that's gonna be 108 is what's owed.
108. Okay. I'll throw down 100. I'll pull out 108 coins and set it in front of him.
Okay. He counts it out, weighs it, measures it, checks to make sure it's perfect legal tender, deposits it in the coin box, nods to you, and saves 3 gold coins on the counter and slides them back to you. He goes, I suppose you'll be closing out your tab then as well.
I suppose so. Unless anybody wants anything before we head off. Nope.
I mean, it's 3 gold, so I can keep it as a tip. Honestly, to owe a bit more.
Yeah, I mean that's for you. Don't worry about it.
You're sure?
Yeah, go for it. You've treated us very, very well, and you got everything. I mean, it's the least we can do.
Your friend Buck had mentioned you all were some type of seekers or something?
Yes, we are Weaver's Chosen, the Seekers of Galanti.
Galanti. Okay. How would you spell that?
G-U-L-A-N-T-I.
Galanti. Okay, gotcha. And he turns around, and you see on the kind of the back end of the bar, there's this piece of scroll work that's up there. He dips an ink quill and walks up over to it and writes down Seekers of Galanti under a list of only about 8 names, and it says preferred customers. And he writes your name on the back board behind the bar, and he kind of turns back and puts it back in an inkwell and looks over, and he goes, anything you ever need inside of Silverhearth, you come stay here. I'll make sure you're treated the best I'm able to do.
Thank you so much. Edmonton, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Edmonton. Yeah, thank you so much, Edmonton. We do appreciate it. And we'll be sure to return here if we make our way back to Silverhearth.
Of course.
Which I anticipate we will. So.
We'll look forward to your return. I'll have beds, fresh food, rooms made available. At the very least, even if I'm booked up, we'll find a spot for you here at the Silver Tankard.
Sounds
It's
good.
much appreciated.
It's likewise and shared. World's too cold these days. Need more people like yourselves.
Yeah, and need more people. Need more honest business owners like yourself as well.
If only the world worked that way as often as possible, but people seek riches more than they seek, well, honor, I guess you could say.
I feel that, brother.
Well then, may the road be kind to you, and may the graces of the Great Weaver look fairly upon you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. And may the Weavers bring you more good business and good tidings as well.
We can only hope. Take care, Seekers of Galanti.
All right.
With a nod, I will head out.
Same.
Rest of the group, everyone good to go?
Yep.
All right. You walk outside. Much to your earlier inspection of the morning, you find 2 saddled horses, complete with saddlebags, bit and tackle, fresh horseshoes placed and adorned upon their hooves, made ready for a long journey far south to Wren's Fork. The wagon itself is brandished and actual plated. of a wagon. It actually tends to be a bit smaller than what you remember seeing for kind of just even traditional trading wagons. Based upon its design, if it had been the same kind of width and length, it probably would prove to be too heavy even for two trained horses. The design, while being a bit smaller, is still compact and very much still covered, but you can look it over and just a rap of your knuckles against the metal studs that run the length of it, and the pieces of flat coppering that kind of exude through both the axles and around the bases of the split wheel design leave no doubt in anyone's mind who can look upon it that this thing is made to last and built to last longer. There shouldn't be any trouble regardless of any difficult terrain that you might come across. Anyone who would make an assault or anything of that sort on this kind of wagon definitely would have a much harder time of it than your run-of-the-mill wood design. Specifically, it's got hardness. Yay!
But they did us quite well here.
Yes, they did. The two horses that have saddlebags, or the two extra horses, any color, breed that I can. I mean, I'm not trained in nature or animal handling, but
What do you mean?
as a soldier, would I recognize anything about them? I mean, the color obviously I can see, but
Oh, okay. Yeah, you have so you have just two kind of like barn horses that are currently attached to the wagons. Each of them kind of have a long brown mane, kind of now a fading summer coat, and they're looking to like partially shed as they get into winter. Each of them that are currently attached and adhered to the wagon are actually wearing what looks like kind of like a heavy saddled blanket because they've been left outside for this morning. And as the cold winds are coming through, you would of course pull that off and have the horse there. Of the two riding horses, you note that both of them seem to be similar in breed. You're not trained in nature, but I'm sure is somebody in this party trained in nature? I feel like Bucky is. Bucky kind of looks it over and goes, "Wow, they gave us Appaloosas." And he looks it over, and you can see both these horses. The first one is much of the same as the first two, a very stark brown front with black long mane, and a kind of like a protruding musculature that shows that this horse has been well trained, well taken care of, and is in good health. But you do notice like the mid to back part colt that you find rather interesting is the horse resembles a little bit of a zebra. The back end, it bleeds from a brown into a kind of a white with a brown spattering kind of pattern and design across the back of it, and the accompanying riding horse is much of the same, whereas its brown counterpart, it is instead a black hide horse that then ends with a very bright, stark white rear with large black dots across it. Appaloosas are known primarily for their spotted coated pattern like these, but the main things of it is that it means that they're well-bred horses. They've been intermingled and mixed with a number of other breeding stock. It's not terribly uncommon that these horses are kind of raised from birth for this purpose. So,
all right. Well, who else is taking a riding horse?
I'll take it if no one else is gonna do it.
So who's working the wagon? Who's taking the riding horses? And who's sitting where?
I definitely want one of the riding horses. If that's okay.
Weren't
I'll be
you
in the wagon.
good with vehicles, Colt?
Yeah. I mean,
Well, it's like I want to be a cowboy though.
yeah, I want to be a cowboy. I want to name my horse. This is my closest chance to getting a pet.
Oh my
Colt,
God.
if I could run the wagon for you, I would, and I'd let you be a cow man. But
What? What?
A cow man. Not a boy, but a man. A cow man.
But I lack the appendages. I'm not wasting the spells for it. Don't last long enough.
Alright, I suppose I can drive the cart. That means both of these horses are mine.
Technically, all of them are yours.
You did buy them.
Yeah, but I want one to be mine. Alright, fine. And I get to name the 2 horses for the cart. Mustard and
really-
mayonnaise.
Oh god, it's too late. You're going to get attached now.
Yep, I'm attached already.
All right.
Mustard
I'm
and mayonnaise.
I'll try and bring them back from the dead when you get them killed.
gonna go ahead and just add this to my
Don't
notes.
say
Mustard
that.
and mayonnaise, we said. Okay. Works for me. Colt Honeycutt and mustard and mayo the horses.
If I might
Kill
suggest that
instantly.
Morgan
Okay, sorry.
be the other rider, as Orville may find it a little difficult, and I don't think a horse will enjoy hooves on its back.
I was thinking about that, but if we run into any trouble, I wanted my hands free, but I could do it.
Or hopefully we'll see trouble coming and can leave our horses waiting in the distance.
Or
So-
ride into battle with him. I mean, what?
These are not war horses, Colt. That would have cost a lot more.
Damn it.
Well, they can become war horses if you let them rule ass. That's how it works. That's how war horses are born.
Listen,
So
in the Wild West, everything was a horse.
everything's a horse. All right. So JJ and Morgan, is there any fighting between who gets what horse? You have a black and brown Appaloosa. Up to you guys. And should you want to name your horses, you may do so now.
Do you have a preference more?
I really don't.
JJ will take the black one, and
Okay.
its name will be Sesame.
Sesame.
I would have picked ketchup.
Oh, Colt, don't you worry. Orville's gonna be calling your horses Ketchup and Kraut.
Oh God.
What?
And Kraut. And
Yeah.
JJ, I'm sorry, Morgan, what do you want to name your horse?
I'm gonna call him Hot Dog.
Hot dog. Everyone's a condiment except for hot dog.
He brings us together, okay?
Why would you name them all after food? You're
Yeah, 'cause
cursing
we might-
them.
We might have
It's
to eat them.
It's called Brandingville. You ever heard of it?
You can't trust me with
Listen.
names.
Mustard
might
and mayonnaise are
have to
2
eat 'em.
noble names, alright? That's a great horse name.
I'm not
Mustard
going to
just
argue
rolled right
that
off the
fact,
tongue.
Colt.
Mustard might
Everyone
be a
knows
colonel.
that.
Sesame's not bad. I would have picked ketchup. And hot dog's pretty good, but I would have picked relish for that. He looks like a
Colt.
relish.
Looks
Do you
like
mind if I join you on
He's
the
brown.
riders area? So I can
Yeah,
be
of
on the
course.
lookout?
Of course. But again, if you address my horses, it's mustard and mayonnaise.
I am very aware.
Would there happen to be in any of the supplies a brush for the horses?
yeah, no, you'd have a full kind of like leather set for carrying and maintaining your horses. Included in that is actually a working hammer, so you can pull out the dirt that gets between their hooves. So again, for anyone who's never taken care of horses, praise be to Turkey Creek Stables. Shout out. My sister's owned horses. The thing that'll include in there as well is a way to pull out the actual stakes that go in the bottom of the horseshoe. That way, when you go into bed for the night, you can let them recover for the day, or change up their horseshoes later in. Primarily, though, in that same kind of device is a wire brush with a small piece of metal at the end, so you can dig out the mud or rocks that get stuck within their hoof. The horseshoes manage to prevent much of that, but yeah, everything that you need to take care of these horses has been generously provided to you and thought ahead of time by your contacts with the Silver Tankard. But yeah, a brush is in there too. Boom. All right. Anything else before you guys roll out?
If you need me to, Colt, I can make a small mark appear upon the backsides. If you want them to have like a little cute mark on them, perhaps.
A cute mark on their, maybe like their rear flank, so that you can identify them. Maybe what their passions or dreams are.
That's not a bad idea. All right. Can you make Can you make it all fancy and different colors and stuff?
I don't see why not.
How long does it last?
An hour?
Are you gonna reactivate it after the hour though? All week? Because I'll be disappointed if I don't see it. I mean, I'm not anticipating that you're gonna do it the whole time. I'm just saying I don't want to get my hopes up and be like, oh, this is fun for an hour, and then be like, oh, but I don't want to make her keep doing it. It's fine. Let's
Tell
just
me
not
what the
do it.
marks want to be, and maybe sometimes they'll be there.
All right. So mustard on the left is gonna get a little yellow swirl, and then mayonnaise on the right is gonna get a little white swirl, like a little dollop of mayonnaise and a little dollop of mustard.
Got it.
All right. So Val,
I got
you
2 new pets. Haha, bitches! I worked them in. I did it.
I love that Colts player. He's like, I want to get stuff. I want to get stuff.
I
So
want
yeah,
pets.
Val, I'm assuming you're doing this with prestidigitation.
Not right now. I'm gonna
Oh.
do it when sometime for when he doesn't expect it. It'll be a little surprise.
Okay. You gotta stare into the
Sometimes he'll just be
painting.
like looking at the horses or going to pet them, and there'll be cutie marks on them.
Easy to do. All right. So yeah. Past that, any last little minute business before you leave Silverhearth and set out south?
Nope.
Bucky, do we have any more business in this city at this time?
Not at the moment. But we'll be back.
The longer you let someone keep something, the more it's theirs. Especially if they paid for
Well,
it and have a
Lamont-
receipt.
Lamont was never truly mine, but we've parted ways. We'll see if we see each other again.
Certainly hope you don't think that about other people's remains. You're going to be upset with me in the future.
Oh jeez. I don't think you're gonna sell your skeleton friends though. I'm just gonna throw that one out there. But anyway, moving right
No, but
along.
I'll consider them mine.
Oh, true. These are mine. Possession is 9/10 of the law. So with that, it is up to you guys. As far as for a path, if you guys want to head south, eventually you know that you will reach a fork. You can either cross the long plains of Iridan and make way towards the crossroads where you first crossed over into the area, the one that stands outside of Hastram Village, or you can head a little bit more east through Tiber Village, which is on the boundary of the Opalwood. It would allow you effectively, like if you pushed on, it'd be about a day, a little over a day's journey to get to Tiber Village. Then you could continue further south. But if you wanted, you could cross the entirety of the plains again, and then it would make your journey kind of bordering the riverside a little bit easier. So up to you guys.
Well,
I've got
if we
something in my
head
notes.
back to the crossroads, it may be a more stable journey. If we go down to Tiber Village, we'll be going closer to Kin's Plummet. Might give us a bit more insight into what's going on there. But it also could present more danger. We did see things flying in the air around that area. If we're looking for trouble.
I mean, I would say that at least having I personally feel that at least having a good idea of what it's like closer to that area wouldn't be a bad idea. If this is like something that's affecting everything, like these radio tower or these tower things, these things that are talking. At least we can see what it's like, but
MMLR 660 relay.
yeah, the MMLR 660 relays. But it
Montserrat in
wouldn't
the
be a
morning.
bad idea to stay away from trouble as you know, as much as possible. I mean, I don't know. I lean more towards heading closer to Klein's Plummet and seeing it, and at least scouting out the area nearest there. But I mean, I don't know how the rest of you feel.
Well, we won't be getting that close on our way down, but we will be closer than if we take the other path. Yes, I agree. I think we should head towards Timber Village, then further south through the plains of Iridan, then cut across west, north side of the Middle Earth Mountains. It also evades more forest land, which would slow us down.
That's true.
So
Sounds
only
like a
have
good
one
route.
major pass through the forest and only one river to cross before Wren's Fork.
I'm for that plan as well.
Agreed.
Looks good to me.
All right. So you guys are heading towards Tiber Village.
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay. So you ready your new horses. The condiment brigade are made
Mustard,
ready.
mayonnaise, ketchup, spread out.
Spread out, hot dog. I think everyone watching can agree. Hot dog is clearly the Madonna of the group. You know, a lot of hot dogging and grandstanding from that horse. So it's definitely, it walks with a prance. Everyone else is like,
Okay.
it's a little extra. The horse is a little extra. So with that, you all make your way. Early in the morning, you set out from Silverhearth, right before the kind of budding of dawn. You cross through the gates. You can see that they're already open and present from the night before. Many merchants kind of move into the city, and others seem to be already possessed of leaving. As the road rises to meet you, the sun begins to crest up over the horizon, bringing about it a true official dawn. You hear a loud, bursting, screeching noise cut through the open air. I need Morgan, Colt, and JJ to make me animal handling checks as you hear this loud tearing sound. Colt, remember you get to add your proficiency because it's technically a land vehicle.
Oh, cool.
So starting with Morgan, what did we get?
A 10.
A 10. You feel your horse kick up. For a moment, Hot Dog kind of like freaks for a moment, but you manage to pull back hard on it, the bit digging a little bit deeper than it ought to into the horse, but getting the point across that you were not to be trifled or kicked from this saddle. Hot Dog slowly begins to calm down, fearing the bit more than it fears this loud interruption and noise. JJ, what did we roll?
We got a 17.
17. A little bit calmer, a little bit easier. You feel the horse kind of jerk. You place your hand up towards the side of its neck and kind of slowly caress its neck and its mane. The horse shudders and shakes, and before it is able to actually buck back, you manage to subdue the horse fairly easily. Colt.
13.
13. Both of the riding horses, Mustard and Mayo, begin to kind of like shudder, and they kind of stumble ever so slightly. You kind of click the sides of the reins hard against their flank, and you can feel both of them straighten up. Surprisingly, for just being kind of like a riding crop, and these mares do seem to be a bit well trained. Whatever farm they came from, or they were done their formal training from, is one that obviously values discipline in their horses. So everyone managed to succeed. As you hear this loud kind of tearing through, you actually hear this kind of soft, almost electric sound kind of come through, and you hear this dun 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 dun. You go, thank you, once again, we thank you for that night broadcast. I'm live. Hello, can you hear me, Ravan? Once again, it is time for Montserrat in the morning. Thank you. Let's start with the news. Yes, I see it here. A man has come to the station, demanding things, yelling at me, yelling at my secretary. Not a proper way to do business. The man will meet another man. Maybe they will have things to discuss. Perhaps not, though. I know Henry's not the talkative type. For those of you listeners tuning in to the far north, I believe I have a number of individuals to thank live on air. Whoever you might be, you brave souls that have easily coordinated my infrastructure, I do thank you for all that you have done. All those interested parties, you should show up. We'll give you a tour of the studio, and truly, your minds will be opened far beyond what you might expect. Other news. We're finding here that While winter has come to the land of Ravon, there is more steam than I've ever known. It's horrible. I can't get my hair to stop frizzing. It's really unfortunate. If then someone who can control the steam could turn it off, you should do it. For those of you human listeners, a small word of advice. Subject yourselves to listening to Montserrat in the morning, or else. Why or else? Because I said so. Tremendous, tremendous news as we continue on. Now, let's turn to the weather. Yes. Oh. It seems as if there isn't a cloud in the sky. A rather boring news report, but let's fix that. I'm predicting, I don't know, tornadoes, horrible raining of cats and dogs, and perhaps even, yes, hail. I sense hail in the sky. As you all hear this voice cutting out, and many people are now staring and gawking into the sky. Many people have pulled their reins in. You can see a beautiful sunny morning kind of clearing up from the haze and the fog begin to darken. And you can see out from the southeast, a rolling collection of black clouds begin to encompass much of the land of Ravon. You see a bolt of green kind of radiant energy erupt out from above in the sky. The perceptive bunch of you, those trained in perception, look, and you can see that as the moon is beginning to crest over the horizon, it blinks and flashes with this bright kind of ethereal green energy for just a moment. It almost seems to encompass it. If you've ever seen any good Transformers thing where like the energy kind of pulses around a planet, it kind of has that kind of look to it. In doing so, immediately you can see like dense and heavy cloud coverage begin to fill and form in. And true to the word that is now being kind of broadcast across the land, it begins to pour. And as it continues to pour, you expect rain, you expect hail, you expect things of that sort, and you start hearing and literal cats and dogs begin to fall from the sky with horrible, horrible crunching sounds as they plummet from the heavens into the ground. The cats mostly live. Many of them land on their feet. But the dogs are not as fortunate. You begin to hear a number of horrible crashing sounds as animals are deposited from the heavens down onto a hard impacting earth. This strange, macabre occurrence continues on for roughly about 30 seconds or so. You guys kind of waited out. Many of you kind of like moving your horses out of the direct area over near some nearby tree coverage that's brought to you kind of over the road by the Westwood. But you can see these like creatures kind of like colliding in there, and as you're hearing this crunching sound, these meows, these woofs, these barking sounds, you're noticing that as they hit, they are erupting into this kind of green ethereal energy that then disperses across the land. Those of you trained in Arcana recognize it as conjured creatures. Further still, those of you who might have an expertise in the magical arts would recognize this as some strange perversion of the Flock of Familiars spell, as they are currently plummeting from the heavens. You hear the voice kind of crack on again. He goes, yes, yes, bring on the tornadoes and the hurricanes and the... What? What do you mean we don't have the budget for a full weather? I'm doing the... Okay. I've been informed by our studio manager that I can't keep this up all day. Apparently there are limitations to my effects here. So we'll say so long for now, Ravon. You may have your beautiful day back, for as long as you may hold it. But I have a man to see about another man, and I will tune in later. For now, we leave you with the beautiful tones of Uthgrak Manako and his bongos. We'll tune in tomorrow for Montserrat in the morning. Thank you, my beautiful audience. And you hear a kind of a screeching sound cut across the land again. The clouds begin to disperse. The animals stop falling from the heavens. You see in the distance a whipping tornado across the plains of Írden that has much of like a collection of sand and doom, and it slowly begins to feather and fall apart. The same ethereal green energy turning into nothingness. You can sense a cold wind blow in from further south, as if it has seriously hailed some quite distance away, and in an instant it all seems to kind of slowly vanish from sight. You then hear, as the screech kind of connects on over and tilts and twists, you can slowly hear this. Does anyone speak Abyssal?
think I just have Infernal.
Infernal. Okay. You hear this
Yeah, no.
this strange collection of speaking in tongues and layered voices that I, as a human, cannot do, echo out across the land before slowly hearing like ding, 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 ding. Dun, 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 dun. And it continues to play, almost echoing across the entirety of the area around you. Formless, but again, shapeless, yet all-encompassing to the land. And it plays. It seems to be a very long kind of bongo song that continues on, and as a minute falls into 2 minutes, falls into 3 minutes, it shows no sign of slowing down. There are a number of rising and crescendoing moments, but they continue to move, and the song continues to play much into the morning. You all continue your journey to Tiber Village. You ready your horses. The strange occurrences and events that have befallen the morning break from Montserrat in the morning have occurred. You continue down and make your way across the road. The song continues to play. In doing so, Colt, I need you to roll me a D100, and JJ, if you could roll me a D12, please. I can do one better. Hold on, let's see if we can do this.
29.
29?
Mm-hmm.
That's a real number you can roll with your dice? That's a lot. That's many numbers. Okay, 29. That's fine. And then JJ, would you get rid of the 12?
2.
A dos. Okay. Please hold. 29. Scroll. Scroll. We like to scroll. All right. Yeah. You all continue down the eastern road, heading south. You manage to get a good traveling pace ahead. Again, much of the strangeness of the morning continues to follow you. You can see a number of people adorned on the sides of the road, replacing wheels, fixing holes in the tops of their wagons and carts, many kind of like going through their merchandise. You can see small cat and dog sized holes that have wreaked havoc across many of the early morning travelers that have now pulled to the sides of the trade roads. Nearly a dozen or so seem to be sat laid up or otherwise currently working what repairs they're able to. In doing so, you all push past and are seemingly one of the only wagons on the road. You find little to stop you and fewer still things to hold your attention as you travel for the next few hours in the first leg of your journey. Right around a little bit past midday, you hear a soft kind of like screeching sound, and the bongo music stops. As it stops through, you hear, "Today's performance is brought to you by The Abyss. This bongo performance has been brought to you by The Abyss. We thank you, kind listener, for tuning in to MMLR 660, Montserrat in the Morning, and Friends. We'll be back tomorrow with the same beautiful broadcasting. We do thank you." And you hear another screech, and there is, for the first time in several hours of this day, a calm, quiet travel that continues on. Many of you enjoy, as you are traveling, various rations, feed. There are a number of small stops to allow the horses time to rest, recuperate, so that you're not currently pushing them and riding them as hard as possible. Eventually, as you all make your way towards the fork and begin to head further east towards Tiber Village, you note at the crossroads, just a few miles down on the east, a large farmhouse building. The building stands in quite nice decoration, fresh paint across its various walls, and there seems to be a number of acres of land that have been prepared for farmlands, fenced in, tilled, and a number of things, not so much planted as it's nearing winter, but definitely well maintained. You can see from the road, there seems to be sounds of cheers and roarious laughter, as among one of the fields you can see a collection of individuals seemingly having a party in the middle of the day, following the recent broadcast that has kind of engrossed upon the land. It seems as if these people are now both cheering the celebration that they are currently imparting on, as well as thanking the lords and weavers that the broadcast has ended and whatever music that was played out has now silenced itself. So that's where we're at. As you all are traveling around here, it's up to you guys. You are a little bit past midday at this point. You do see this farmhouse. If you choose, it would make a place to stop for mid-afternoon to lunch, but otherwise you can press on if you so choose.
I think we should push forward. If you guys,
Reason to
unless you guys
bother
want to
these
stop and
people in there.
rest. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I was agreeing with you.
All right. The co-captains, Captain Colt and Captain Velithil, decide to push on. In doing so, you all enjoy, again, more rations of the road, a bit of dried meats, leathers, fruits, things of that nature, some smoked individual foods from your packs and from the various rations you had purchased for the journey ahead. Continuing on at a swift pace, you all make way nearly half the distance towards Tiber Village as the sun begins to set. In doing so, you can see just in the distance, some maybe 15 or so miles away, the lights of Tiber Village begin to illuminate out like small dots on the horizon. Those of you of good eyesight and great perception can see the village in the distance. Should you press on through the night, you'd likely reach it before early morning tomorrow. Otherwise, you can set up a camp out here on the road and make the last leg of the journey to the village in the morning. What would you like to do? Bucky?
Oh, I was just pointing to Colt.
Oh.
It's up to you, Cappy.
El Capitão. Eu...
I'll be honest, I zoned out a little bit. I was looking up safe horse snacks.
We have our decision right now. If we want to stop as the evening has come or push on, and we would arrive in Timber Village in the morning. I'm actually leaning towards stopping here. Just
Yeah.
keep a proper pace of day and night travel.
Yeah.
Day travel, night rest.
I was gonna suggest maybe we don't push the horses too early on. Too hard, you know.
Yeah.
Also, then we can just make a quick little stop in Timber Village, ask them how things are. We can... Probably won't need anything, honestly, but... check in how things are in this area before moving on.
I like
Sounds
that
good to
idea.
me.
All right. So, with that, you guys pull off to the side of the road as you ride a bit more into evening before night begins to set in. You take time, a few hours, to set up a camp, tend to the horses, unhook them from the wagon, create a small area that you can set up various knapsacks as well as any tenting you might have, making the wagon itself, being that it is a covered wagon, habitable for the evening, for bedding down and making this kind of a nice area. As you will do so, you actually notice a few other wagons do begin to come down the same road. You'd notice them probably over several miles of your journey, just other people that have left from Silverhearth making their way to Tiber Village. As you pull over, you see and begin to make this area, and they begin to catch up to you, many of them having to fix their wagons or various modes of transportation. You see one begin to slow down and look over in your direction, and you hear kind of a groaning voice from this individual who is sat beside his driver. He has a small handkerchief in his hand, and he kind of pads the front of his nose and kind of holds it up over the crest and bridge of his nose, covering his mouth. But you can see there is sweat that lightly glistens his face, but there's also quite a bit of white powder makeup that seems to hold it in place. And he looks to you and he goes, "Oh, how dreadful! Are you folks stopping here?"
Yes, we are.
They're stopping before the city. You said we had to press on. Wasn't safe. You there? Might you be strong of arm and made of tougher stuff?
I mean, I suppose so. Yeah.
Might we share a campfire? I would feel more comfortable than having to push on through the night where I can't see. Though my driver is a bit more able-bodied than myself.
Why does your driver insist it would not be safe to stop?
He speaks of ravenous beasts from the plains of Irden seeking to hunt. I think it's a bunch of hogwash if you ask me, but, well, I did hire him for this expertise. I suppose I can actually do this.
I looked at Colt. It's kind of a...
I mean, I'm gonna whisper to Velitha, I mean, are we responsible if something happens and they get taken out? I mean, well, yeah, we are a little bit, I guess, if we tell them that they can stay. I don't know. I don't know if it's a good idea. I'd rather us just watch over our own group. But, I mean, I guess, what does it hurt having someone else? I mean, unless he's some...
I think it would hurt to have someone else who... Yeah, let's just ask him to move on, shall we?
I mean, it could gain us some kind of favor in this city. I know that's real important to us. He looks important. He's got all kinds of makeup and stuff on his face.
Now
That's-
you want
that's what
to
important
behave
human
kind to the
things-
nobility of the city?
Listen, all right, that was different back then. All right, I was a different man.
You think this was
Yesterday.
any...
Now he's had a first kiss.
Yeah, I'm a different man today. All right. Grown up, my chestnuts dropped. So no, but I mean, I'm trying to listen to you, Velithil. I mean, I don't know. Maybe this is a good opportunity to gain some favor. Although I'm not, I'm slightly offended by the fact that he's holding his handkerchief over his nose like we smell bad because we're pores or something. I mean, I don't know. What do you think? I trust your judgment. You've been...
I actually really appreciate that you're giving it the thought that we would gain a favor with an individual like this. And I think if we're willing to take that, we should. We just have to be aware that he looks like the type of person that a stiff breeze will likely knock over. So if a wolf comes in the night and kills him, we just have to not be around when that happens.
Yeah, he looks
It's not
like
my
a
fault.
squealer. He looks like a squealer. I bet you he hears one bird squawk in the night and he's gonna start yelling and screaming. Probably cry or something. But I mean, maybe.
I mean, we're going to keep a watch in the night, so...
Yeah, I suppose it wouldn't hurt. But if he turns into like some kind of werewolf or something, I don't know.
That's fine. I have a silver knife.
Is that what does it? I thought it was like moonlight or something that kills werewolves or
There's lots of things that can kill werewolves.
or a mirror. That's what I don't know the stupid stitions.
Call a tale of...
Colt, you got a
Even
weird
about a
person in your
pagan.
party.
Wait, what are you talking about?
It's a microaggression. She's literally a shifter.
What do you mean we got a were person?
Oh, Colt doesn't know what a shifter is. This is great.
All right. You know what? I'm gonna let Bucky field that one later because he's really good with nature.
Anyway,
But yes,
all right,
we do have a
fine.
wereperson in our party. It's literally the one who stated we have a wereperson in our party. I'm gonna handle this now and let them stay for the night. So we're going to see how that goes out.
Is it because Bucky's half goat?
No,
I mean,
he's
that's
just
kinda mean.
knowledgeable of nature, and it's a bit more on the nature side than the arcane side. It's a little bit of both, though. We'll sit down and give you a talk later. You're old enough to have it. Sir, yes, we will be stabling up here for a bit and enjoying the night, and we will be posting a watch. So, if you would like to join our campsite, we would gladly welcome you, but I would advise that you consider the advice of your driver if he would insist you press on.
Well, I do suppose that is worth considering, but I don't trust it. The night is the darkness. You can't see the land. You can't take in the sights. And he kind of like moves his handkerchief from his nose, and you can see that the powder for his makeup is kind of like well worn in, and he seems to kind of like have a bit of like a almost a pull back as he breathes without a handkerchief in front of it. He goes, "Oh, achoo. Oh, terribly sorry. The outside here is just full of this disgusting pollen and polluted air. If you don't mind it, I could use a rest, and if you all are posting a watch, then that'll work swimmingly for us, wouldn't you say?" And he turns to his driver, and you just hear this kind of grumble, like. He goes, well, good that you don't get a say in the matter anyway. Yes, if you're posting a watch, we'll be in your care. Whom do I have the privilege of, sitting among as equals?
We are the Seekers of Galanti.
The Seekers of Gulanti? Now, I've not heard of that trading company. Who do you work for? This Gulanti woman? Or person?
Lady Galanti is one of the nobility of Deerwood. We are Weaver's Chosen.
Weaver's Chosen? Well, are you perhaps attempting to fight these horrible beasts that are on the plains?
Which ones?
I'm not sure. I'm told there are ravenous, terrifying beasts on the road. I'm not quite...
Well, if
up
they
on
get
that.
in our way or are causing too much trouble, we may find the extra time to handle them, but we are in fact venturing to deal with other matters in the name of the King of Silverheath.
Oh, on orders from the king, do you hear that? They are well trained, and even strongly done so. Very well then. I will be in your care. And thus my goods will be in your care, and thus my compensation at the end of our journey as friends of the road will be on your care as well. Well now, I do suppose proper introductions, and he kind of like turns and looks to his driver, and he goes, I can have you make the proper introductions? And you hear this kind of like grumbling sound, and you see leaning forward, the driver kind of pulls back this riding cloak, and you see two very heavy, wide set tusks protruding out of the front of the cloak as it's pulled back, and a kind of bright and beaten, sun-bleached green skin. He kind of looks forward and goes, presenting the great and respected Antonio di Magnesius, tradesman of Magnesius merchants. It was very good, very good. You're worth it. Oof. 1,000 apologies. But my good man here will ensure that we are stationed somewhere near your campsite, well within the safety of your people. Maybe the strong one. And he points towards Orville. It was him. He looks rather scrappy and homely. He probably beats up oxen for a living, doesn't he? I can tell.
He does.
Uh,
He's the
I
strongest
say
of us all.
oxen. They're pretty close to other creatures he has an aversion to.
I have an eye for such things. I can see quality from a mile away.
I've no doubt with such an illustrious name and title and business. I am Velthul Dowenvey, co-captain of our group.
Good to meet you, Miss Dowenvey. Please, pull us closer. I'm tired of yelling. My throat hurts. Yes. Oh, yes, of course. You see, they kind of pull their wagon off the road and down a little bit towards the area where you guys were making camp. They begin to kind of pull over, and you see this individual. See here. Can we pull it? Boom, 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 boom. I don't think we can pull it. That's going to annoy me. It's going to annoy me. Why is it like this? Why won't it load? Okay, Streamlabs is being weird. I'm trying to load it through and it won't do it. Anyway, so Sir not appearing in the stream. He gets off of his wagon and cart, and and his
Poppishnoble.png.
yeah, exactly. Poppishnoble.png gets through and gets going. Goes through and goes, very well, and well met, good seekers of Galante. I'm in your care, and thus my mercantile business is in your care as well. Please, might we become fast friends? I shall have my tent presented right away, and I will host tea. Perhaps we can all meet for a good meeting of tea.
That would be delightful.
Wonderful. It'll be my treat. Go ahead and get my tent ready. He goes, yes, sir, of course. You see his orcish driver stands and kind of hefts off their wagon, and doing so, you see the wagon kind of lift up a few inches as the orc stands tall. You can see he kind of towers over the merchant, standing.
I'm gonna turn to Bucky and give him a look of, if you piss off another noble at tea, I'm gonna shove a pillar of madness where the sun don't shine.
Oh, Jesus.
I'll keep that under advisement.
Under advisement. With that, there we go. You'll see the orcish individual begin to set up his tent. As you all kind of make your way around the camp, you note that Antonio kind of just watches from afar, seeming to kind of usher on his kind of ward, his man. Let's see here. Go ahead, JJ.
JJ is going to finally take the tea bags out of her jars.
Mm-hmm.
So now, hopefully, she has fruity infused moonshine.
Yeah, in a sense. Are you gonna sip it?
She will taste it, yes.
Okay. Yeah, you sip it, and it looks as if the fermentation is taken and peeled away much, and kind of added a lot of soft notes in the moonshine.
Sick.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go ahead and take any leaves and just like soft, like leaves and hay or whatever's in the area, and form a bed for mustard and mayonnaise.
Okay, you're gonna form a bed for mustard and mayonnaise?
Yep.
All right. Easy to do.
While he's helping them and like taking their stuff off, he will find the 2 marks on them.
Oh God, the 2 marks on. Oh, from the little cutie marks you added, the cute marks. You look it over, Colt, and you have 2 very beautiful horses that are ready and raring to go. And the nicest way to say that.
And I'll go ahead and I'll brush them, and try to clean them up. Any dirt and stuff like that that's stuck in their hooves, I'll take care of them if I can, if time willing.
Okay, not a problem at all. You manage to. Let's do that. You manage to start kind of work on the horses, making sure they're well taken care of and put upon and wanting of nothing. For the rest of you, as you guys all settle in, what do you guys want to be doing?
Bucky's gonna ask JJ if she wants to jam out and play our instruments.
She will agree to. She's gonna probably set her stuff up by Sesame and all that. So, but yeah, she will jam.
Get that jam session.
Do I see them getting their instruments ready?
Mm-hmm.
You might not want to do that.
Oh shit! You are right. The towers.
Oh, well, aren't they activated by a specific frequency?
Nope, just anything. Anything
I mean,
with
one of you was just playing on our way up and seemed to cause a reaction.
Yep, that happened. I made it go absolutely haywire.
I see. Yeah, well, we might have to hold off on that then.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's all right. That's all right. Maybe another time.
Sorry to poo-poo on your parade.
All right. So yeah, you guys prepare or think better of playing instruments at the campsite. As you all get set up, you see a large and lavish leather tent kind of be paraded from behind. It is a very heavy circular tent. This orcish fellow taking what appears to be kind of a large, heavy-set log and slamming it several times into the ground before effectively like kind of propping this up like a large parasol, and then slowly kind of fitting a number of hooks into brass rings to make this large kind of rounded tent. The noble man kind of looks over the area and goes, "Oh, tremendous, tremendous! I will prepare tea, and I will be awaiting your presence, my dear friends of Gulanti."
Could I suggest that maybe we take turns having tea if it's getting late? I'm happy to stay out and watch just in case.
Take turns having tea? You aren't all thirsty or wanting of sharing stories? I'd assumed that those who share the road are to share and trade stories and miraculous accomplishments.
Oh, of course, sir. Just want to watch out since you are in our care.
Oh yes, watching out.
It is getting a little towards the end of the day. Just want to keep you safe, sir.
Yes, okay. I see you are a consummate professional young lady. You're clearly one of the good ones. All right, very well. I shall host a tea party, and any who wishes may join me in my tent for tea, but do not neglect your things, that your duties. Yes, duties? And duties. He goes, they're doing things. Not everyone works on your schedule, my lord. He goes, of course, not everyone works on my, of course, compassion for others, understanding, compromise. I'm learning so much on the road, I will tell you this. He goes, very well. You all may, at your leisure, join me for tea, but once the sun is fully down, I do ask that you announce yourself, for I do tire from the road.
All right. JJ, if you guys like, you guys can go enjoy some tea. I'll stay out here with the horses. I mean, no offense, of course, sir. I'm not a particular fan of tea, and I'd like to keep watch if that's okay, and that way y'all can enjoy yourselves.
Oh, well, I will profess I've never shared the company of a red individual such as yourself, but I can see that you are possessed of great, remarkable strength in charisma. I can sense it across you. Truly you are a hard worker, and not to be dissuaded by pleasantries. Please, I am in your care, good sir, and it is by your mercy that I am sharing this campsite with you. We are equals in this instance, and what you say shall be true.
Yes, sir. All right, then.
Oh, very good.
Yep.
Very good, very good. Then I will entreat any who wish to partake. Momentarily, allow me to set the table and get out the good china. He kind of heads in. He wouldn't say china, but he would say whatever. I don't know. I actually do know.
Porcelain?
I do have that. No, not porcelain. Specifically, he would say. He would say the good quinel. Allow me to get out the good quinel. Which, if you do check your maps, it is a city far to the south. Just north of Sun Mother.
Anyone who doesn't want to deal with this, just go on watch, attend to the things, I'll take care of it.
Yep, that's why I'm not going, because I have a feeling that I'm going to get upset, and that's why I'm just staying out here. But y'all enjoy, y'all have fun. I'm going to stick with mustard mayonnaise as well as sesame and hot dog out here. We're going to have a grand old time. I'm going to feed them some sugar cubes and some carrots and brush them all, get them ready for tomorrow. But yeah,
You
I'm
get
good.
little bits of ribbon, you can tie bows in their manes.
Good idea. Wait, no, I wouldn't do that. That's not. What?
JJ will take a ribbon that she's got tied kind of near one of her antlers and
Mhm.
just hand it to Colt.
Thank you. I'll hang on to this. Not that I want to use it or anything. I don't want to do that.
Sure. Miss Val, I'll join you for tea. It'd be nice to have
That's what
a
you
nice, calm cup of tea.
think
Bucky
I'm gonna-
stays out with Colt.
Bucky stays with Colt. Okay. Morgan, what about you?
I'm gonna stay outside and mess around with Chunkini and his little boots.
Okay. The bells start to ring out across the area. As you can, yeah, you definitely at this point you're trying to shove a very large cat into a very small pair of boots. And
Oh
every
no,
time-
he's in there.
He's in
He
there.
just hates it.
Just that. That's the old steps. The old-
I'm gonna entice him with jerky the whole time.
Ooh, very good. Let's see, maybe. Strange.
Orville, will you be joining for tea or taking care
I
of
mean,
matters?
sure, yeah. I'll have some tea.
He seemed to immediately catch you out as a very apt individual, so
Yeah, strange. Especially considering I was just hanging out in the back of the wagon. But yeah, let's go have some tea.
Seems good.
Or
who
we'll
doesn't like little
jump
green
out of the
things?
back of the jump out of the back of the wagon and make its way over towards the tent.
All right. So strange, it's doing that. Okay.
Is the image type different than what you voted before, or
No, it's just a weird thing. Oh, there we go. Hold on. I see what happened. Okay, we fixed it. I had shortened the last image, and then the new image is a smaller pixel size. So it was literally just looking like a line on it.
Mm.
So there we go. Okay, so bloop. Oh, no, that does not look right. Oh, God. We done goofed.
Smudged wall.
that was just some lines.
It's just blood on the dance floor. That's all it is.
Now we know what he looks like.
Yeah,
He's a blur.
he's nothing but a blur. Oh, wait.
You should just post them in Discord.
Oh, yeah, I could do that, couldn't I? That'd probably be simpler, huh? Shorty got your fire burning on the dance floor. Oh, well. Oh. All right, let's do this and that and other things. Hold on, stretching. Oop, we did it. We got it. I think we're good. Hold on. Please hold. Round. No, that's not gonna work. There's no way. I think we're screwed. Yeah, we're screwed if we do, we're screwed if we don't. Boing loings. We gotta figure this out. No. Okay, forget it. It's a cool picture. I don't care. There we go.
It doesn't insert at its normal thing.
No, it saves settings for some weird reason. Any
It's messed
hoozle.
up.
Moving on with my life. Moving on with this whole facade. This whole thing. Anyway, so with that, yeah. The few of you take to meeting with the nobleman Antonio. The rest of you kind of remit and remain in the service of the campsite and the protections of the small kind of like area that you now encompass. Round 3. Nope, that's her. Okay, well, we tried. We gave up. We tried. Gave
Oh,
up.
he's a hot orc.
He's a hot orc this whole time. It's just
Well,
it's another
shit.
excuse to have another hot orc. You got me.
Well, shit.
Well, shit.
There I go cheating again.
Oh my God. Colt's a complicated individual.
You gonna kiss this one
Hey.
too, Colt?
Look at that.
Oh,
We
there
did
you
it. There we go. This individual. Blue coat. There we go. Nice guy. Nice fella. Nice feller. Oh, Jesus. Sorry, that took entirely too long. So, with that, for those of you staying outside, Colt and Bucky, you're the ones watching, and Morgan, you're playing with your cat. Velithil, JJ, and Orville, you guys are heading into the tent momentarily to entreat the nobleman. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yep.
All right. So starting with that, night begins to fall into that as it peers into later evening. You set up a very well established area. You can see other merchants pressing on throughout the night, but staring kind of curious glances in there. Colt and Bucky, as you are the ones predominantly keeping watch, while Morgan is busying herself with fixing and futzing with Chunkini. You do see another actual pair of wagons making their way through. You can hear rattling of metal in the back of their cart. You see two humans that kind of look curiously at you, and you hear, you can see the driver is a human man, and the passenger is a female human descent, who has a very kind of enlarged abdomen, and they kind of slow down, and the man calls out to you and goes, "You there, are you setting up some type of circle of wagons?"
Shit, where's Velethil? I don't know if this is a good idea, damn it. Bucky, is it a good idea or not? Help me. You're now
safety
lieutenant.
in numbers.
Yeah, you're right.
Safety in numbers.
I suppose so, but keep in mind that we are not responsible for anything that may happen on the side of the road. We are just camping here and, keeping some sort of watch, but if it gets too populated, we may not be able to handle the numbers, keep watch and such.
Oh,
Just,
I understand. Oh, darn it.
It might be best to continue onward, if you don't mind me saying so, because again, we were just stopping for the night ourselves, and another individual came along and decided wanted to camp near us. So again, I offer no guarantees. We'll try our best, but we don't want it to get too populated over here. It may attract more attention. We are just in the middle of the road here.
Yes, it's just my wife and I. We've been riding since morning. We ran into some trouble on the road earlier. I understand what you're saying. Would say 5 copper cover your inconvenience?
Money's not the option. I just money's not the question. It's just again, you can stay here, but we can't guarantee the safety of this area. That's all I'm trying to say. It's at your own risk if anything should happen.
I understand. Thank you. We'll try to press on through the night.
All right. Well, be safe, and good luck.
Of course, you as well. He kind of like, you hear the crack of the reins, and his wife kind of bemoans a bit. You can tell that she's kind of sick of the road, and they start traveling out of earshot and out of sight. Yeah. Keeping a watch, we'll go back to in a second. For JJ, Vel, and Orville, you all enter into this lavish tent. You see this kind of well-dressed to-do man. He's now wiped much of the white makeup from his face and cleaned himself. He has kind of like, again, fair skin, but still is well-dressed in vestments. He has a traveling coat he was wearing that he has now kind of exchanged out for this long, kind of tailed dining jacket. Sat inside of this massive tent is a very well-adorned and hand-carved table with a number of very heavy-looking chairs that no right person should ever travel with. You see his orcish compatriot kind of sit and set up the chairs. He goes, "Oh, wonderful, wonderful." And as you all enter into the tent, he goes, "Oh, my good friends, my traveling mates, please have a seat. I had just put the tea on. It will be but a moment. I welcome you all to my humble abodes here on the roads." That rhymed. I might be something of a poet. Please, do tell me, share a story if you might. I'm ever so curious as to the reasons you might be on the road. I don't see that your wagon is well structured for that of a mercantile, pronunciation, to say the least.
No, we're not dealing with any delivery. There's some minor troubles that just need to be dealt with near Wren's Fork and the steam fields.
Well, terrible business that is. Wren's Fork is dreadfully far away. I'm personally working a bit towards Typer Village to meet with an associate of mine that had a number of interesting propositions, but your business, of course, is your own. Please, have a seat. I will get the... He turns and looks, he goes, might you grab the tea? He goes, of course, I'll grab the tea. He goes, fantastic, and four cups and 4 sauces. And he goes, yes, of course. And heads back, and you can hear like the piping tea kind of start whistling after a few minutes. He goes, please, take seats, enjoy yourselves, get comfortable. I wasn't sure how many people I was expecting, but I'm good to see that I have enough chairs to accommodate everyone.
Thank you kindly, sir.
Of course.
If it's the same to you, sir, I'd prefer to lean.
You can lean, you can stand, you could dance around or skip. It's all your purview. Again, I'm just so thankful that you're giving me a respite from the road. I rarely find myself outside of the comforts of Silverhearth. So in these journeys, I'm a bit unaccustomed to what is the going, well, mindset, I suppose, of the road. Usually my drivers handle these things for me, so it's rather peculiar of a situation. Please, feel at ease, my good green friend.
I will, thank you.
Good. As he does that, you start hearing the whistling. Fresh tea is poured, and a small coaster is placed on the wooden table and sat down. This kind of piping hot pot is laid there, and you guys can smell this kind of like fresh, kind of still softly boiling tea. But as you look into it, those of you who are tea aficionados, you can see that there is a very dark mixture that has been boiled and broiled into this. And it kind of like swirls, and you can still see like small kind of collections in the tea as they kind of ferment over. He goes, please, if you might. And he raises his saucer and puts his cup to his lips and like slowly shows like you can drink this. Like he's not quite sure what the customary is, but he takes a sip and delicious, delightful.
I'll take a sip.
You sip it. It hits very hard. It actually kind of has this like almost overwhelming and powerful flavor to it. It's enough to kind of choke up slightly. But it is again a kind of a dance of tastes across that. If you've ever had black tea, is kind of what it is.
It's a powerful brew.
Oh yes, you will find that no expense was spared in this tea. I had it imported from Port Oasis to the south. I hear that they make it unlike any other way that tea can be crafted. This black tea has a bit of potency to it. It is said that it is destined to be shared by those who will kindle a remarkable friendship in their lives, and that is my hope for this meeting of ours.
Oh, isn't that delightful?
Well, that's nice. Or we'll take a sip.
Yep, JJ will sip too.
Yep. You take a sip, and again, much of the same thing. It is a very, very strong black tea. You can see these small particulates kind of still floating, these kind of like pieces of black soot floating around in the tea itself. How to describe it? It kind of has like a full flavor. Again, like most of your heavier teas, you can definitely taste everything that was put into its production and growth. It definitely has a very heavy flavor to it. He goes, yes, it is so good to share tea on the road with friends, and you're headed for Ren's Fork, and what marvelous things these are, what marvelous discoveries they are. I do ask, being that you are seekers of Gulan tea, these weavers chosen, as you have said, you must be truly possessed of heroics, great noble deeds, services to the land and country, yes?
Pretty much.
I'm sure you could say.
I do say then, I dare say, I'm rather curious, what accomplishments have heralded your great success as Weavers Chosen? I hear that you are always looking for the next biggest and best thing that you might prove yourselves in the eyes of the great Weavers themselves.
We have, for some years, found ourselves in service to Our Lady. Some of us longer than others. Recently, we found ourselves on a little expedition and assistance to the city of Iskander. Not too much to jaunt about that, but it was...
What do you mean? There was an ice troll.
Yeah, we
There
killed
was
an
an ice
ice
troll.
troll.
Oh my goodness, the city of Iskander, I do believe, that is... Yes, the city of the dwarves, far to the north, allies to our dear friends Ravan. An ice troll, you say? How tremendous! You defeated one? Was it how tall? Was it bigger than Carl? And he points to the orcish individual. He goes, about how many Carls was he? Was it Carl and a half?
I think he was about 2-3
tall is
Carls.
2-3 Carls? And he turns and looks at Carl again. Carl's like a big orc with a hunch and has these very long tusks. Like you might suspect, like Bucky being trained in nature probably suspects that Carl might be like part troll. Like there's enough like formations that Carl probably got some giant blood in there somewhere. And he kind of, oh my goodness. Well, now that is rather curious. You said you bested this ice troll. How did you do it? With blade or spell or some type of magical acuity, or perhaps some an ancient weapon, or some remarkable thing from your history that played a key role in its defeat?
I gotta say, it was with our bare hands for the most part. But our good friend out there, the half elf, she threw some acid on it, and that sure did hurt it.
You scalded it with acid.
Yes, sir.
Remarkable.
Burnt it right up.
Part of the roof upon it.
Oh,
That
yeah,
happened.
that's right. Yeah, the roof
That
was
wasn't
falling
Morgan,
down.
That was
Caved it in.
Bucky.
Oh,
Our
yes.
satyr friend.
Yes.
Caused
Indeed
a bit of
it
a
was.
avalanche, as it were.
Oh my
Quite a
goodness.
bit of damage.
We work quite well as a team in those circumstances, to be honest.
Oh, I can see that. Truly, you seem to be possessed of jolly cooperation and teamwork. Your presence, your je ne sais quoi, your how to describe it, your prescience. I could feel it from the road itself that you are noble crust. People and creatures possessed of strong power and teamwork and cooperation. I can feel it, almost like a well-oiled device. I can sense it upon that. I do apologize that your friends were not entreated to my offer of tea, but I understand they are keeping guard. Very he kind of like sits up in his chair. He goes, very macho. The machismo. They're able to see like a hawk in the night and defend like an undauntless one. I value that very greatly. It is remarkable to speak of. Might I ask a rather personal question?
Certainly.
You might ask. I can't guarantee an answer, depending upon how personal.
Oh, of course. I've always been... I've always worked in the company of a number of individuals who have found themselves down on their luck. I have sought my fortunes by utilizing the services of individuals that society has rather cast aside. Carl here could barely read when I first met him. It was a travesty. He goes, I can read now. Because of course you can read now, Carl. We've spoken at great lengths of this. We've taught you the civilized world, my good friend. But now I am rather curious. I've never, in my time, thought to price out the services of a chosen of the Weavers. I'm rather curious, in fact, what the going rate might be for such things. I've heard tale that it's rather expensive, that it must be a journey possessed of great honor and respect, and that you can only accept a task that is heralded by you as heroic deeds. But there must be a monetary compensation. I'm sure that you don't pay for things in heroics.
Well, no, but most weavers find themselves in the service of nobles of Deerwood, and in that service we find many tasks that fit those heroic deeds we seek, and leads us such as to where we are now, with the service and assistance to a king's need pays more in just the honor of heroics.
Oh, truly well spoken and well said. I certainly can understand that. But might you be availed of such joys that you might, well, allow yourselves, or allow your master allows you, to take on, say, small, insignificant side opportunities when they present themselves?
Could I come out and ask you, sir?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have something in mind that you are in particular need of help with?
Well, not a particular need. I would never say or profess that there is a requirement for what I am hopeful to achieve in this instance, but I again will remark that I have not left Silverhearth in quite some time. I was born there, raised by my father, and on the principles that his father instilled upon him. My mercantile business and my trading company has been bestowed upon me through family legacy, and thus I find that I, while possessed of a great insight and wisdom for business, am lacking very much in the, well, how best to say it. And you hear from the back, it goes, "You're kind of weak." It goes, "Not the word I would use, Carl, but thank you so much, sir. I am rather predisposed to the occasional swirly, if you might be quite frank."
JJ is going to take a swig from her jar after that one.
Well, there are many ways to better yourself. An individual of such means yourself could no doubt hire a personal trainer who would be able to greatly improve either your physical skills, mental, arcane, whatever your study and practice may be.
Now, that truth in the sentiment that you speak. I am a man of means, but with those means I do believe that my attentions are often more better suited for a diplomatic business endeavor rather than a push-up or a pull-up or something where I could possibly ruin my manicure.
Then I don't understand your meaning, sir.
Well, it is to say
You want
that
gains without the effort?
No. I do not seek self-improvement. Myself, I was born as I shall die, and that is to the quality and standard beset by my house and my station. I am merely saying that your group, being Weavers Chosen, defeaters of these miraculous beasts, are no doubt accustomed to a, well, intimidating prowess in the mighty, areas of business. I am merely asking if your services are for sale, if albeit just momentarily. I would very much welcome a little bit more reinforcement in my business endeavors in Tiber Village, and I would compensate you handsomely, depending on your current rates. I'm more trying to piece out if you would be affordable, that I might borrow a bit of your time tomorrow in accompanying me to a certain business endeavor.
Could you maybe give us a little information about the business endeavor?
Of course.
Exactly. We would need a few things.
Okay.
Because you have to understand this. We are a cohesive unit, as you noticed, and this is something that we will have to discuss amongst ourselves. including those not present right now, if we would wish to also assist you in this matter. Now, while it may be on our path, we was chosen, and the path we are on is important, and
Of course,
we
I would
cannot
never.
deviate too much.
I would never to proclaim that my needs are above that of your calling as we was chosen, merely to say that it is on your way, and that you might want to rest and recuperate a bit in the morning, or perhaps the early afternoon. I have heard these horrifying communications on the open air, and they have me more than a bit spooked. I had thought that Carl and myself would be able to handle this business, but now I am a bit worried about our chances on the road, hence my decision to stop here. Certainly, if you all are able to find it in your hearts to allow compensation and my gratitude, I would never dissuade you from your mission to seek the king. Just a few hours of your time would all that I would require, and not even your intervention into the matter, just your presence would be required. And in fact, not even all of you might need be there. Maybe just the strong man here, this green individual, and the red fellow in the shiny suit of armor, and maybe one other to maybe fill out the ranks to show that I have brought strength with me in this business endeavor, and I am not to be taken lightly.
Well, perhaps you could enlighten us into what this business endeavor is and why you need a show of force for it.
Very easily done. So my family has, for a time, controlled a rather large market share of the trade within the Opalwood, that being the lumbering and mill trade. We primarily cut, curate, and provide a number of wood and sundry goods to the city of Silverhearth and to many of the merchants that utilize its services. It is but one small facet of my endeavoring things. Recently, our business partner who handles the mill has gone a bit dark and said in a very strongly worded letter that he would not be dealing with my company unless I showed up myself, that he wished, and I quote, to see the chicken-necked noble who thinks he can boss him around. So I intend to exert my authority as a nobleman and owner for my share and family's share of the Opalwood over these grounds, and hopefully come to an agreement with this individual. Provided that we can do so, I see that there should be no need for your services other than a bit of playful intimidation, we'll say.
Well, in my experience, a foreman of a well-off mill would not be interested in stilling or harming their business without good reason, so why would he send you this strongly worded letter?
Oh, I'm not quite sure. There were a number of disagreements a summer ago regarding adequate time off, compensation, expectations, things of that sort, but it's all within a margin that is acceptable for substantiated growth. It's a very complicated mercantile system, so I won't bore you with the details. Suffice to say that I again would be welcoming to your services, and if at all possible, very excited to have you on board to assist me in re-establishing my control of this facility, which I own, and that, of course, the land I own on. This man is possessed of unfounded, I don't know, confidence of some sort. And again, it's more just in showing that everyone is able to conduct business so that profitability continues to flow to him, his employees, and of course, my house.
Can I get a read on Carl's disposition about this discussion?
Sure. Go ahead and roll insight.
Uh, 13.
13, you peer towards Carl, who has been standing stoically like a statue for quite some time. You can almost hear the hamster in his head squeaking as Carl kind of stares just almost disassociating from reality and seemingly not hearing a single word that is being said. You think he might be thinking of chicken or beef, but you're not 100% sure either way. He has a small collection of drool in the inside of his lip, and you can only be guaranteed of one thing. He does not give a shit about anything this guy is saying.
Head empty.
Fantastic. Okay. Well, I do hear where you're coming from, and I understand how annoying such a thing may be. I cannot submit my group to an agreement to assist you yet. Now that we have an understanding of what you are requesting, I'll need to know how much you'd be willing to pay.
Well, I think it'd be only fair that I pay the going rate for Weaver's Chosen. I don't presume to know what that is. I'm not asking you to kill an ice troll or defend a dwarven kingdom. But I don't know. I assume a few, 10, maybe a dozen or more crates of gold or something of that sort.
Chichi's just gonna shoot a glance over at Vel real quick.
Define a dozen or more crates of gold?
Very simple. Gold trade.
No, I'm sorry.
bar.
That was out of character.
Oh, okay. No, he
Sorry,
he literally, if you ask him, he'll tell you. Yeah.
Excuse, could you repeat that, sir?
Elaborate?
Of course. I assume the services of named Weaver's Chosen from a noble house. I'm sure I can get your heraldry from the city of Deerwood. I assume you to be from. But named Weaver's Chosen, I'm not quite sure of the going rate, but I think it's only fair. A small percentage of the yearly earnings of the mill, provided that it is able to be brought under heel once more, and this rubbish business of increased pay and whatnot are dealt with, I would have no problem providing what I believe to be adequate compensation. It's not much, I do, of course, profess, but I think in the neighborhood of what, say 7, 8 crates of gold, or maybe a dozen. I'm not quite. What do they pay you people? I can't even imagine a payment given to you all to throw yourselves at danger and miraculous things. It feels almost as if I don't want to insult you with such a low offer.
Well, I do appreciate that. You are in the ballpark, so it's good to know that you have an understanding.
Of course. I and he seems to kind of like change gears a little bit. He goes, I, of course, am, as I said, a thoroughbred, a well-read and trained merchant of my family. And again, I can see that you all are possessed of great experiences and strong moral fibers. He sips his tea.
JJ is going to take a sip of tea and a sip of her jar.
Would I have like a rough estimate of how much gold a crate of gold would be?
Are you trained in insight?
No, but I'm a noble.
You are a noble, but a crate of gold's a crate of gold.
JJ is trained in insight.
JJ's trained in insight, and JJ is also a gambling woman. So yeah, we'll say that. Yeah, a literal crate of gold would probably be upwards of like anywhere from like just probably shy of about 800 to 850 value in gold per crate. So you'd be in the ballpark of maybe about 10,000 gold or so, give or take.
Well, is there anything else about your offer that we should know before we go discuss it with the entire team?
Let's see, anything else you should know? Well, these people are rather uncouth, a bit not well spoken. They might use harsh language in your presence. I don't want to offend your ears. Suffice it to say, really, it's kind of open and shut. I just need to ensure that I am treated with respect and that the mill is again brought back to realistic terms. This endeavor that they are proposing seems rather out of sorts, and we just need to get business back on track and ensure that we meet and fulfill our quotas and orders. I was expecting a landmark profitable year from this endeavor, and I have too many other things that require my attention to truly waste time on these exasperating demands.
Mr. Magnasius, if I could ask, what were their terms and what are your terms?
Well, okay, so they work at a very, very, very affordable and rather respectable, I should say, if I'm being quite honest, for people who are untrained and unable to hold other jobs. I simply ask that they cut, prepare, and load the wood. They pull from the opal wood in the seasonal requirements. They meet a quota and a strict deadline. Each of my employees is provided a modest pay of 5 copper pieces daily, not weekly, as the going rate should be, but daily, and I was the first in my family to bring them to that much. So, with that, they have a handsome pay. They are provided no more than 5 days leave from work a year, and of course, we cover all incidentals. So if they are hurt, injured, or otherwise on the job, we provide all of it. Now then, I do not cover unnecessary things. Their terms is they want to be making a silver a day and rob me, blind as a bat in the woods. They're also requesting more time off, something to the sort of several weeks out of the year. They want holidays or something for their families, and I just can't even remark on that after how good I've been to them. And then something about their teeth are falling out because the hard food of their job requires them to not floss or something. I don't know. It sounds like personal problems, and they're just not being fair.
Sir, if I could, I do come from an honest working family, right up near Deerwood. But I do agree, your pay's not too terrible at all. But maybe meet them in the middle and at least give them their holidays. That we all love to have a little holiday cheer. That goes a real long way to keep people happy.
Roll persuasion.
10.
10. He thinks it over and he goes, I don't know. I think, again, as you have confirmed, I provide a very generous and handsome salary to my workers. These villagers out in the middle of who knows where, in the middle of nothing important happening in history to the village, are trying to string me up and make me to be a terrible person. But you know what? If they all quit today, I would find people to take their jobs right away. The other mills in the Opalwood don't pay half as well as I do. And I know for a fact of this because I had tea with the Marduk just the other morning. And he assured me that he does not pay his workers over 8 coppers. Even the best of them, the most well-trained and veteran of them, do not go above that amount. 5 coppers daily is unheard of in our industry, and I still turn a handsome and tidy profit for business. Now, what they're requesting is just, it's robbery. It's robbery, plain and simple. They were not the ones who founded this land, their ancestors were not the ones who drove the giants from this land, and thusly they were not the ones who had the foresight to begin to clear the Opalwood for all that its resources might provide to the people and loving homes of Silverhearth. Now winter is coming, and a number of people will require firewood, and there are large orders that I am staring down without fulfillment. Again, I do understand this, that we might consider their holidays, but as humble villagers, they celebrate everything. The moment spring comes, they have a spring fling. Winter, there's a solstice. And then in the summer, they need days off for festival. They just make up their own holidays constantly.
You don't follow any of the actual holidays that happen throughout the year?
Oh, no. Why would I? My great-grandfather said that only a fool celebrates every holiday, and a rich man works for everything that he is entitled to. It is a strong moral work ethic.
Well, simple folk are simple folk. Sometimes you gotta find the happiness, especially when you're being worked to your teeth are falling out. Damn.
It sounds like a
That's
dietary issue. Personally, I think they're having too much lard and whey.
Mr. Antonio, I don't mean to be rude, and I don't know this Marduk fella, but are y'all on good terms?
Swimming terms, great terms. We sit together quite often, or at least not together, but he sits in the box next to mine for the races. He has a lavish understanding,
Sure,
but
yeah.
a gaudy fashion. I don't quite associate with him as, I would say, a friend, but rather we might consider ourselves confidants of a sort.
All right, and do you think he would lie to you at all, ever?
Oh, well, a number of people might lie to me, but I will say this, nothing that he has ever bespoke to me has rung as a falsehood that I have learned of. What are you proposing, my good green friend?
I'm the way I see it,
Mhm.
and again, this is completely different perspectives. Please quiet me if I'm wrong.
Of course.
But if these people want to make these claims and threaten to walk, I personally, and people I associate with,
Mhm.
would always have a backup plan. The backup plan to starve to death and be completely unemployed just doesn't seem to click with me.
I think we are of the same mindset, my good green friend. I do believe that they have not yet considered the consequences of their actions at this point, and it will take a show of small force to bring them under tow.
Sir, I think what Orville's trying to get at is I think your friend Marduk or whatever might be subscribing to the keep your friends close but keep your enemies closer.
Subscribing to... I've never heard of this telegram. What sort of news articles do they publish?
What he's saying is he's telling you lies, but he's going to steal your workers.
Steal my workers.
He's
No,
going to offer them so much better. He's going to offer them at least their holidays, at least. And he might even give them some dental plans or something to cover.
He would give them dental?
Honestly, he wouldn't even have to offer them. If you run them all out, he'll be able to get them for cheaper.
Oh, yeah.
But they're an ungrateful workforce. Why would he want them? He just recently opened up a new franchise just south of the Westwood that is going to be nothing in a few years. It's got nobody there. Why would they move so far from home?
New
Because if
life?
they have nothing else.
Perhaps I have been hasty in my decisions. I will reflect on this tonight, and if you will agree to accompany me, I can sense much wisdom among Weavish chosen. Heroes, heroics, noble crust I will not find on the road. Truly this was a choice and chance meeting by the gods ordained themselves. Allow me time to consider this, and speak of this no further. Discuss this with your people, and we will discuss this in the morning once I have had time to rest my mind.
Exactly what I was going to suggest.
Yes, sir.
Very good then. Enjoy your tea, and be off, please. I have much to consider.
Yes, sir. Enjoy your evening. Thank you so much for the tea.
Mm-hmm.
JJ's going to leave a jar on the table.
Of moonshine?
Yes.
You like sit it down, he kind of like looks it over, and he goes, what on the...
Compliments from Lightning Shine, sir.
Lightning shine for my shoes?
No, sir, for drinking.
You drink this?
Yes, sir.
And he like takes it and he goes to like move the lid and he can't. He goes, my good man. And he reaches up and he goes and like unscrews the lid. He goes and like sniffs it and he goes, it smells fruity. What is it made of?
It's tea infused corn whiskey, sir.
Oh, well, I do love tea. Whiskey, you said?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I believe this is for you, my good friend. Whiskey. Your favorite? Yes? He like smiles, like a little crookedly. He goes, I like whiskey. And he drinks it a little bit and goes, oh, that's good hooch. He goes, Good hooch, he says. A star review. Thank you so much. I'm sure he will
You're
enjoy it and savor it. Or drink it in a gulp. I'm not quite sure.
Absolutely. JJ will exit the building.
All right, JJ exits the tent. Orville, Vel, you guys exit out?
I'm gonna try and find somewhere real sneaky and out of the way to just like put this teacup that I've got.
You're gonna like steal his teacup?
No. I want to like hide it somewhere really inopportune, like maybe on his seat, maybe somewhere like on a bookshelf, somewhere out of the way,
like somewhere just so it goes missing.
Somewhere
I blame
somewhere where it
Bucky
goes
for this.
missing, or just like on his seat,
See-
so that when he wakes up in the morning and goes to sit down, he just sits in half a cup of room temp tea.
I love that trolling nobles is like the MO for the Seekers.
Let's go.
The bottom part of the stream loves this. Yeah, so give me a sleight of hand check.
Oh, you got it. That is going to be a 15.
15. You look around, you canvass the area. There's not much in here. A nice bed, actually a pair of beds. One kind of in beautiful silk sheets, the other in like a weird kind of cotton, uncomfortable, itchy looking mess. You look right across the area, there's a trunk for his clothes, the table, the chairs. You think about it and you're like, oh, I could probably put this cup like under the table leg. And then if he like rocks the table, it'll probably break it. Or I could hang it like off the back of one of the kind of decorative designs of the chair, and it'll sit in a way that until you like walk around the chair, you won't see it. But otherwise, there's not too many places you could hide the cup.
On the back of the chair sounds good to me.
Okay. You see the filigree carving on the back of the chair, and it's kind of like crusted up, almost like a tree, and then large branches. You find one of the branches and kind of like loosen it in, almost fitting the handle of the cup like a ring on a finger, and it slides into place, and you kind of like just gently set it there, and it hangs there, kind of floating in the back of the chair. All right. With that, you all exit the tent.
Yep.
All right. So you exit the tent, you rejoin your friends, and being that we are well past time, my apologies. I just want to get that out before we passed it. That is where we'll call it here. We will pick up next week on the scene here later into the evening. So we will pick up right where we left off next Monday. For everyone who stuck with us, sorry, I know a bunch of people had to tap out. My apologies for that. But definitely thank you for hanging out and doing all that kinds of rowdy nonsense. Yeah, I think that's good. So we'll pick up next Monday with more of the story of the Seekers of Galanti. Feel free again, join our Discord, check our programming, that kind of stuff, yada 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 yada. We'll be back next Monday with more D&D. We have new goals and new challenges as we head into the end of February and beginning of March. We'll see how long it takes you guys to do it. This community is kicking all the butt, so a lot of stuff is happening. A lot of things get passed, which is kind of awesome, but worrying all the same. In the effort of keeping with it, they say always be rating. So let's always be rating. Let's do... Yeah, these people seem cool. They're doing D&D Beyond Curse of Strahd. Sure, that seems cool. I want to see their vampire voices. So, from everyone here who played, as well as for myself, thank you guys for hanging out with us. The VOD will be up later this week. We thank you for all that you do and all that you will do. Certainly, we love having you watch, and we hope we're entertaining at least. Hope you guys have a great night. Take care. Peace out.